It's understood that Chelsea do not plan to review Rosenior's performance formally before the summer of 2027. They have no intention of making a change at the end of the season. Chelsea view this summer as being critical in terms of recruitment. The club's desperate to improve the mental resilience of the squad and provide Rosenior with a better balance of options. Chelsea will look to sign at least one new central defender, and they want to sign a midfielder or add a midfielder and a forward as well. We know all that, Danny, but we also know a run of one win in the last 6 Premier League games. Many Chelsea fans are far from happy about the way things are going. So, Simon, Danny, I mean, no Champions League, no problem for Liam Rosenior, it seems. Should we believe it?
No, I struggle to believe that wholeheartedly. I think no Champions League for Chelsea would be a failure for them, especially if there's 5 places. And I think that the fans will become very disgruntled if that's the case. I do feel like whoever was in...
Knuckleball free kicks. They used to be all the rage, but when was the last time you saw someone score with one? We're going to take a look at why we're not really seeing them anymore and also explain a bit more about how they work. The knuckleball peaked in the 2010s, probably because that Ronaldo strike in 2008 inspired academy players everywhere. Here's a young Mason Mount.
I tried to base my free kick on Ronaldo, hit the ball by the valve and it moves. So what do you do? Top corner, top bins.
The name knuckleball comes from a baseball pitch held with the knuckles rather than the fingertips, which doesn't spin as it travels. Now, no ball is a perfect sphere, so as it travels, it creates ever-changing pockets of turbulent air, causing that unpredictable movement. Brazilian free-kick specialist Juninho Pernambucano wasn't the first player to do it, but he did perfect it, scoring 77 free kicks over his career, more than anyone else. He was inspired by 90s midfielder Marcelinho Carioca and a guy called Didi, who was hitting knuckleballs in the 50s and 60s. Brazilians call it the dry leaf, because the ball looks like a leaf that gets blown around in the wind this way and that. So how do you do it? The key point is to hit the ball head-on, usually with a straighter run-up. It's a punch-like shot and, crucially, as short a contact time as possible so the ball doesn't spin. Some people think players hit the valve to affect the air inside the ball. That's not the reason. It's because the part of the ball around the valve is more rigid, helping to shorten that contact time. Remember the David Luiz beauty against Colombia in the 2014 World Cup? We don't really see knuckleballs anymore. Why? Because players are being told not to shoot from dead ball situations because the XG is so low. In fact, as Opta shows here, since the 08-09 season, there's been a 10% reduction in players shooting from free kicks in the Premier League. In 23-24, a record low of 11 free kicks found the back of the net. And the knuckleball, by its very nature, is imprecise, which is why it's becoming a thing of the past.
Good afternoon, this is Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT, and by the sound of what I'm hearing from Charlie just now, Adam Cattrall hasn't got to apologise to anybody after Charlie and Max's interview with Gerwyn Price yesterday.
There's a couple I could point him towards.
Pulitzer's all round by the sound of it. Did Max actually say to him, how many darts have you got?
Yes, he did.
And how long a dart can you have? Having spoken to Gerwyn a few times, it doesn't strike me that would get him on side.
I'd also point him at our interview with Moses Italma about 2 months ago. About as good.
We'll get them both in the studio together when Max is next over.
Lovely.
That would be fantastic.
Adam, you've got nothing to worry about.
The listeners love it when it gets eggy. It's much more... They love it. It's much better than a proper interview, that. Anyway, let's crack on, shall we?
Why not?
Me and Charlie Baker with you through until 4 here on talkSPORT. Where this afternoon, Charlie, what's coming up?
Yeah, coming up over the next 3 hours, former England, Chelsea and Blackburn left-back, my new friend, Graeme Le Saux, joins us in the studio. We'll also look ahead to tonight's World Cup playoffs with Welsh comedian Rod Woodward and Italian singer-songwriter Jack Savoretti, and Sussex's James Coles on his England ambitions and going for big money in the 100.
Yeah, big money, as Max used to say.
Yeah, big money.
Allows Charlie to do one of his 4 impressions.
It's the big money round.
Smoke alarm. We'll also celebrate 30 years of Super League with Leeds Rhinos' Jared O'Connor. And H&B versus ChatGPT sees Chat with his own spin-off TV format.
Yeah, he's been doing something.
Yeah.
There's all this, plus West Ham fan Joseph Jones on serenading his team to survival. And we'll bring you another edition of the White Knuckle waste of half an hour ride. That is the birthday spread. Standard Banbury cake.
Banbury cake, yeah. And Charlie Baker's been over in Mexico. Maybe we'll play that. Not Charlie Baker. Jeff Peters, of course.
Jeff Peters, yeah.
Is over in Mexico, and he's got some of his friends to do some birthday spread catchphrases, isn't he?
They do look at him like, you better be giving us a big tip here, mate.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Andy thinks they probably spit in his chimichanga after doing all that.
Not a euphemism.
Yeah. I spit in your chimichanga. Anyway, we'll play that to you later on if you're around for the birthday spread. But it is 7 minutes past 1. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Charlie.
Good afternoon, Paul.
And, should we leave it there? Shall we? You doing a Gerwyn Price on me?
I was about to say to you.
I expect you then to do
I'm
really
very excited.
5 minutes of comedy.
I'm very excited for the Northern Ireland game.
Are you really?
Because my friend and yours, my favourite Torquay player, Jamie Reid.
You've got skin in the game, yeah?
Skin in the game. And I didn't know if that was a text today, Paul, on 81089, whether or not you've got skin in the game, just completely randomly.
Yes.
I'm nervous for that game. I really want Jamie Reid.
You're nervous for that game?
I just want one player, not a nation. I want one player to get to the World Cup. If I can see Jamie Reid lining up in the World Cup, wowee. What an afternoon, Paul. Absolutely brilliant. So, and also, we've got Jimmy Ball, who is our new manager at Torquay.
Yeah.
And I think if he wins the league, Paul, if he gets us promoted, I think that is the greatest achievement of anyone in his family ever.
Really? Well, yeah. I can't think Alan did much, really, apart from winning that World Cup. I mean, really.
Indeed. But I thought on 81089, when did you have skin in the game? Just very, very loosely.
Yeah, okay. Well, I quite like that. Yeah, we'll have some of that, shall we? That's a good idea. Let's have some of that then.
So a bit of that.
talksport.com/H&J, text to 81089 or tweet to TSH&J. Graeme Le Saux popping in to see us.
Yeah.
You've been doing a bit of work with Graeme, haven't you, recently?
A little podcast with Graeme that we've been doing, which I'm saying little, it's doing very nicely.
Yeah.
Interviewing footballers and also and journalists and lots of people to do with football. But they all know Graeme really, really well, and they really, really like him. And you're getting a slightly different angle with Graeme because
they don't like you.
Yeah, mainly. Yeah. But just because who he was in the game, he played a lot for England, and is in that big. You forget he missed out on Euro '96.
Yeah,
and he's very open and very honest about the game and how he talks about the game and his experiences in the game, which are pretty unique. Well, look, in many ways.
There's a lot going on England left back at the moment. Lewis Hall's going to get his chance tonight, so we'll talk to him about that. We'll talk about what's going on at Chelsea. He's got a business at the moment, which is very interesting, which he'll tell us about. So Graham's in a little bit later on. Something else to maybe get the listeners going on.
Yeah.
Look, it's a bit of an old chestnut, really. But some bloke called Max C on social media has said British nicknames are an unregulated industry.
Oh, yeah.
A 5'6" tradesman called Anthony is professionally known as Shetland Tony. Are you aware of this?
I'm aware of this. Yeah. It's very good.
A man who lost an eye is called Keth. which is
Yeah.
and a quiet man who wore a yellow jumper once became known called Mumblebee.
There are some beautiful ones. I mean, there's a few that is it the sniper's dream is anyone with a large head is known as the sniper's dream. They always say that one.
But I don't know if these are jokes. I mean, because I've missed out on this. Charlie, clearly it's a thing and you've seen it. But somebody said one of the lads that works for me is called Minty because he only gets to work after 8. An electrician who I work with who looked like Elton John, we called Socket Man.
I like it.
Yeah, quite. I think, yeah.
I like it. I used to like all the old one size fits all.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Those,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. I just look. I don't know if it takes us. I've not seen this before.
Your Christmas hampers, all those, Paul.
Some of them made me laugh.
No,
some of them I can't read out.
yeah.
The best
definitely take some nicknames, of course.
The best ever was a Scottish school janitor we had who was very short in stature.
Oh yeah,
and we called him Janny DeVito.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Look, I mean, yeah,
that's absolutely.
I mean, look,
beautiful.
You've probably seen this a million times, but it made me laugh.
Maybe you want us to give you a nickname. You know, you tell if you've never had a nickname, tell us a bit about yourself, and we'll try and come up with
if
one.
the listeners can come up with one. Yeah, we just need a little bit of background on you. Talksport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH and J 03717223344. James Cole's joining us for a chat. Sussex cricketer, of course, and
gone for a lot of money in the hundreds, isn't he, Paul? Yeah,
£400,000, and I think he has England ambitions, of course, and the way he's playing. Spin bowler, a batsman. So we'll be chatting to him a little bit later.
I've said it before. They should make the 100 mixed. That's how it should. It should be mixed cricket.
You think?
Mixed cricket's great. I've played many mixed cricket games. Last summer, I played one for the Taverners. It was absolutely great. So there's no reason for it not to be.
Wouldn't the women's team want their kind of the game, want their own identity?
Women bowl at women, and men, men bowl at men. That's the only difference there needs to be.
Okay, well, that's an interesting idea, Charlie.
It's a good idea, Paul. And you said interesting idea, like it wasn't an interesting idea.
We've got.
That's how you said it.
We've got 3 massive playoffs, and we're going to get represented on all 3. Yeah. We've got Wales, Bosnia-Herzegovina. Rod Woodward, comedian and committed Wales fan. Can't make it tonight. He'll tell us why in a moment. A bit later. Jack Savoretti joins us. Genoa fan, musician, singer-songwriter. He's got a new album out. He's about to go on tour. So Jack's going to join us, talk a bit of Italy. It can't be 3 times in a row. They don't qualify for a World Cup. That would be absolutely mad. But obviously, we don't want them to because that means Northern Ireland beat them.
No, exactly, yeah.
We won't say that to Jack, of course. And Paddy Power joins us because they've had an idea. They're going to try and make sure that the Republic of Ireland get over the line
I can imagine it's quite
in the Czech Republic tonight.
I did think as well with Adam Cattrall needlessly apologising for what he did for his interview.
Yeah.
If there's anything anyone would like to apologise for that they did in an interview ever.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure people have been in
a job interview.
A job interview, yeah. People have been in high pressure situations in a job interview, and they've done something out of character.
If you'd like to apologise,
if you want to tell us about that and apologise,
there we are. We've thrown enough at you there.
There's plenty, Paul. There.
03717223344. Talksport.com/H&J. Text to 81089. Tweet to TSH and J. Graeme Le Saux kicks us off. He's popping in to see us next. He'll be chatting about his podcast with Charlie, his new business that's got some very interesting stuff on Ruben Amorim. If you're not aware of that, we'll tell you more about that later. And a bit of England left-back situation and Chelsea ought to come with Graeme in a few moments' time. We're here, as always, with Tool Station. Check out your wide range of garden power tools with brands such as Bosch and Ryobi. Next stop, Tool Station.
Salah will leave Liverpool on a free this summer. Here's a crazy stat for you. Mo Salah either scored or assisted 37% of the goals Liverpool scored in the last 9 seasons.
Yeah, he's, and I think it was Hugh Wisencroft that said there that the awakening of Liverpool was down to Klopp and Salah. Those two worked in such sync. Klopp made Salah the player that he is, or allowed him to be the player that he is.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at someone in North London who, I'm not comparing Saka to Salah, but if you put that Saka into a Klopp's team, you would see. So Salah's got more goals and assists than Saka.
What you're saying is Arteta's holding back Saka.
Oh, 100%. Liverpool fans, Arsenal fans know that. 100%. That's not up for debate, is it? I'm not opening up a debate here. I'm just stating the fact that Mo Salah's got more goals and assists this season in all comps than Saka.
Mm.
Now, if Klopp had Saka at the time that he was going through that brilliant time at Liverpool, you'd see a totally different Saka. Arteta's getting a different role out of him. There's no way Mohamed Salah would not be the player he is if he played under Arteta. Don't even go there with me.
Okay.
Don't have that argument because I'll fall out with you.
Okay, but I don't think Saka can do what Salah's done.
Well, no. But what I'm trying to get at is that Saka is being held back and doing a job in a different way in the same position.
Mm.
Kane's got it this time and fires it in. 2-0. Job done.
We wanted to have some new faces in camp.
He's trying to flick it on. Gay, he can. Oh, it's in! Unbelievable! A Jude Bellingham overhead kick.
We wanted to also pay tribute to the fact that it's last camp before the World Cup.
He comes towards the penalty spot and it's in. It's in from Harry Maguire.
He deserved to be back in. He has a super weapon regarding set pieces.
He sets it back for Ben White, who strikes it into the corner. It's a thunderbolt from Ben White.
Thomas Tuchel's been very persuasive. I quite like him. He says it as it is, and he's giving him another chance.
Barnes is onside. Tight angle, Barnes! He can't stop scoring.
We played two complicated teams, two very strong teams. We need everyone fully motivated.
We'll bring you both of England's friendlies against Uruguay and Japan here on talkSPORT. We're going to have a chat about the left-back position today because we're joined by a seasoned England left-back in Graeme Le Saux. Hi, Graeme. Good to see you.
Slightly over-seasoned.
Yeah.
Never
Too
retired.
much salt.
He's never retired.
Still available.
From international football,
Yeah,
so, you know,
exactly.
still available for
That
Thomas.
would be desperate times, wouldn't it?
Imagine that late caller. Thomas Tuchel. That time Sven called up Chrissy Powell when he was like 32.
Instead of me.
I've watched some old tapes of Graeme and I think he could... Do you still turn out, Graeme? Do you still play a bit of vets
no,
or
a little bit of dad's football occasionally.
Yeah.
But given my kids are now 24 and 27,
It's a bit...
stretching it a
You
bit.
turning up's a bit much, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, and I enjoy it, but I play, and we talk about this, Charlie and I play a lot more tennis now, and I mountain bike to keep fit.
You do a football podcast, but it's turned into a tennis podcast.
I know.
You and Charlie and Graeme. Yeah.
We do a podcast called Football So What. Graham's quickly worked out that I know about 4 things.
Bit of holes in the knowledge. As you really drill down in the National League South.
I can talk to you about that all day. So we do start talking about, you know, Raducanu's form quite a lot, or how Alcaraz is going to do in the Miami Open, you know, that sort of thing. But you know,
So it's
Not on the
It's a broad
podcast.
church.
You have guests. You have various guests that
yeah.
pop up on the show as
we
well.
do, and we're constantly looking, aren't we? For
We've had Anton Ferdinand, we've had Henry Winter,
Yeah.
we've had Josh Pugh.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a broad church of who we
Eclectic,
have.
yeah.
You know,
Tony
and,
Cascarino.
Tony
which is
Cascarino's
hilarious.
been
I
on.
saw
Lee
him.
Dixon's been on. David Seaman, I wasn't on that one, so that one's done quite well. Actually.
Yeah, I imagine it would do.
That one, you know. So
where's it available? Where can we? Anywhere you get your podcast.
Anywhere you get your
I don't know
podcast.
how you can
plug
ask.
in.
I know you're
It's
getting
the
it.
end of the interview already.
very early, Graham.
Yeah,
Paul's
brilliant.
doing it.
Thanks for
early.
popping
Wherever
in.
you get your podcasts.
I think we've exhausted what we wanted to chat about. So we seemed a little while ago. We thought we were covered for left back, didn't we? Really, Miles Lewis-Skelly was playing regularly, but Lewis Hall's going to get his chance tomorrow night, and he has been fantastic for Newcastle. Let's hear from him, shall we? This is where we have a chat with Graham, get his take on it. He was chatting to us live on talkSPORT of that game, and he was asking how he's feeling about working under his former manager at Chelsea. He gave him his debut, Thomas Tuchel.
It's an interesting one because obviously when I knew him back in my Chelsea days, I was obviously not quite in the first team, but I was training quite regularly with them at a certain point, and he was the one who gave me my debut. So I was obviously incredibly grateful for that, and that'll be a memory that I'll always have. I think I'm a completely different person now, completely different player now. I think so. I don't necessarily read too much into the past, and I know he's a great guy, so I'm looking forward to working with him again.
Now, Miles Lewis-Skelly's not getting game time at Arsenal. We've got Livramento and Jed Spence who kind of can play either side. It's not necessarily their natural position. So he's in the box seat, isn't he? He has a couple of good games.
Yeah, and again, you sort of look at the development of a player over time, and he hits the nail on the head about I'm a different person now. You know, when you're young, developing and getting exposed to Premier League football at the level he has, and the amount of games that he's played, the development curve, it's like dog years. You know, a year in a 21 or 20-year-old's career when they're playing in the Premier League, you know, it accelerates so quickly. So sort of living in the moment and being confident in your ability at that point is something that's really important. And the icing on that sort of particular cake is getting called up for the national team, particularly when you already have a relationship with the manager from him seeing you as a younger player. What I like about Lewis Hall is that, and probably I'm a bit biased.
Well, he gets compared to you. You probably like that as well. There's a lot of people have been saying this. A lot of people said, he's got that kind of Graeme Le Saux thing.
Yeah, and I suppose the point I was going to make was that to an extent that he has the right physical profile for that position.
Yeah.
So he's dynamic, he's quick, he's not that big. So there's an advantage. I
Low
think,
centre of gravity and all
not
that.
to being overly big at fullback, because the key things that you have to have, I think, out of possession as a fullback, particularly at international level, and this maybe sort of leans towards the right side where Trent's not included, is your ability to defend 1v1 situations in a very sort of, in a game sort of type that's quite slow, where build-up's slow, suddenly things happen very quickly. And I always felt international level, the distances you got from your opponent as a fullback to a winger had to be spot on all the time. The level of concentration and then the speed at which you're able to defend. So basically facing an attacker and being able to turn and get up to speed. I found that felt more intense at international level because it wasn't as consistent. And so someone like Lewis Hall and his profile in particular, I think is a good profile for that. It's like Luke Shaw, similar, you know, they've got that sort of build. And I always prefer that naturally for fullback positions as opposed to somebody that's a bit more rangy, for instance.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously then you've got the extreme of that, which is Dan Burn. Watching Lewis Hall play for Newcastle, I've been really impressed at his sort of consistency. His quality on the ball has improved. His defensive position has improved a lot. He's still got, you know, every player has an awful lot to learn throughout their whole career. So you never stop learning. But I think when you look at him as a more evolved player, I think he certainly deserves to start against Uruguay. And then it's in the moment, how do you deal with international football and playing in that environment? Because it's a very different rhythm.
Is he our best option, Graham, going into this World Cup? Is it? I mean, if he can have a couple of good friendlies, and you can only tell so much from that, is he in the box seat?
I think he fits the profile for Thomas Tuchel really well, so that puts him ahead of other players. I think where he's still got to improve is, you know, gaining that knowledge. You only get that through experience. I think physically, I think he's still got a bit of development to do. You know, towards the end of games when I've watched him, and I've watched him quite a lot this year for Newcastle, he looks tired. The energy sort of looks like it saps out of him a little bit in the last 20 minutes of games. But again, that's a maturity. That's getting your body ready.
Bit of a red flag considering the heat and conditions in the World Cup.
But again, that's where, you know, picking players for the right matches. I think if you're playing a team that has got a winger that is high energy, So if, for instance, Uruguay, if Valverde plays on that right-hand side rather than centre, Lewis Hall, I think, is nailed on to play against him because he's the best sort of antidote for that type of player, where he can match them physically and technically he's very reliable. So you prioritise that. I like Nico O'Reilly. And as you said at the top of the show, or the top of our interview, Miles Lewis-Skelly was absolutely nailed on last year because he was a breakout player. So I think there's options there for Thomas Tuchel, and I think Lewis Hall will do himself a lot of good in these next 2 games to get the manager's confidence to pick him in that squad.
Are you surprised at all that Thomas Tuchel's not picked Skelly anyway? Because he knows what he can do and he didn't let him down.
It's a difficult one, I think, because Miles Lewis-Skelly's sort of position has changed quite quickly at Arsenal. Even when he was playing, he went from a breakout left back who caught everyone's eye to then sort of playing more inverted into midfield and stepping in there. And I think for an international coach, you probably lose a bit of confidence in a player if week in, week out, he's playing a slightly different position to what you need him for. He doesn't need him to play that way for England, Thomas Tuchel. So, and ultimately, I think having that rhythm of matches between now and the end of the season is so important for the confidence an England manager has in you, because you want to be picking in-form, fit, reliable players and try and de-risk as much as you can from players that haven't played matches and are maybe lacking in their sort of their confidence at that particular time.
It's interesting because Nico O'Reilly's very different physically, isn't he, as a player? I mean, we were just sort of saying of those kind of Barney Rubble type squat left backs like you and Kenny Sanson and Lewis Hall. That was one profile, but Nico O'Reilly's completely different, isn't he?
He is, and he's enormous.
Yeah, but if you're bringing him on with 20 minutes to go and you've got to start swinging the ball in the box, then Nico O'Reilly's a pretty good shout.
As he proved, he can get on the end of stuff as well.
Yeah, and again, depending on what you have to do as a coach at that particular time in a game, Nico O'Reilly links play up brilliantly. He steps into midfield and he's scored 8 goals already this season from that sort of left back midfield position. So again, there's a role for him, and I think when you look at the whole picture and the squad, what an amazing opportunity for Thomas Tuchel, because he's got a blend of players in there that can play a variety of systems with a variety of options, and players that whoever's on the bench can come on and change the profile of the team for that particular game. So if he wants to push an extra player into midfield or push someone from fullback wider to be an outlet, he can do that. And I think that variety is the biggest opportunity for England to really perform at a high level.
Graeme Le Saux is with us in the studio. We'll chat a bit more about England. We'll talk a bit of Chelsea. We'll chat about his business, which is very interesting and how it relates to Manchester United and Ruben Amorim. And lots more besides. All to come here on talkSPORT after the news headlines.
Think about it. The only person that's not going to lose anything out of this deal is Mo Salah. And when he signs a 2-year contract and got himself a new contract and got himself the highest paid and one of the highest paid players in the Premier League, it was because Liverpool managed to achieve, or probably on his behalf, a 2-year deal that they didn't particularly want. I think they wanted a 1-year deal. And when we heard Virgil van Dijk, the caller was talking about the commentary of Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah, what we heard was a load of old rubbish from Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah about how they'd heard nothing from the club, no one had spoken to them, no one had given them any indications, all that nonsense, because clearly agents would have been speaking to the club. What they hadn't heard at that time is, yes, you can have precisely what you want. That's what they hadn't heard at that particular time. So when we use that as part of the architecture of a conversation to justify people's behaviour...
No, I think you're right there. I don't think they did come out and say, I'm staying. They didn't. he's got it wrong. They actually did play the game.
Of course they did. So in this instance, when you look at Mo Salah has orchestrated a circumstance where he engineered a contract as a result of his previous worth that Liverpool gave him enormous amounts of money. He hasn't turned up until his outburst. He then had an outburst. It's orchestrated this outcome. And as a result of that outburst, if you follow the line dots and probably join them up, Liverpool are the ones that are going to lose out on a player that they've paid 400 grand a week for that has barely turned up this season, that has got a longer-term contract that was designed to protect their interests, which has done the polar opposite and has got them out of a transfer fee. And the only person that will not be 1 single cent out of pocket in any shape or form, performance-wise or value-wise, is Mohamed Salah.
The German leading England. It all sounds a little bit odd, but as Thomas Tuchel tries to bring football home, here's how he ended up in one of the most scrutinised jobs in sport. Well, Tuchel started his footballing journey in the sleepy town of Krimbach. His leadership skills were obvious from an early age, with Tuchel even making subs during PE volleyball sessions. After a knee injury ended his playing career at the age of 25, Tuchel accepted his first coaching role in the Stuttgart youth setup in 2000. He led the club's under-19s to their league title 5 years later, but his perceived abrasive personality meant Stuttgart chose not to renew his contract. He went on to spend 5 years at the helm at Mainz before leaving the club for Dortmund. And there, Tuchel secured his first major trophy, the German Cup, in 2017. 8 more pieces of silverware came next for Tuchel in just 5 seasons at PSG, Chelsea and Bayern Munich. And that CV impressed the top brass at the FA.
We found so many similarities and so many things that suited my approach and my hunger to achieve special things. I always wanted to come back to England.
Well, he says all the right things, but is destiny on Tuchel's side?
Chelsea, Blackburn Saints and England left-back Graeme Le Saux with us in the studio. And one fact people may know about you, Graeme, and the younger kids can go and check this out or ask their dad, is that you only ever score 1 goal for England. Make it a worldie and make it against Brazil. Yeah, I mean, they say, I think it was voted the 18th best goal ever scored. And England scored a lot by England. England scored a lot of goals. So,
yeah,
I mean,
they did. And it was they were the world champions, Brazil at the time. It was 1995. And, it was the beginning of my England career. And Terry Venables was the coach. And we set up differently against Brazil in terms of our shape and how we positioned ourselves for our corners. So normally I would stay on the halfway line because I was quick. We'd keep 2 back to an opponent's 1. Anyway, Stuart Pearce took a really terrible free kick from deep on the byline. It was almost like a corner. It was
a collector's piece. That was
exactly. And I was told by Terry, he said, I want you to cover the edge of the box. For this particular game. I said, okay, fine. He said, yeah, and if the ball comes to you, just smash it in. And we laughed. And that's literally what I did. Chest and volleyed it into the top.
He made you believe. You said he was your favourite ever manager, wasn't he?
His man management, his tactical sort of knowledge, his understanding of the opposition, everything about him. You know, being able to manage a player like me and manage a player like Gaza, and you say, you know, we're quite different people.
Yeah.
You know, he was just brilliant, and he was an innovator. He really was. You know, you don't get many coaches that try new things and trust the players to try new sort of systems and shapes and get the feedback. So he felt like a very modern manager at the time, and he would fit in perfectly with today's style of sort of management and the systems and how everyone deploys it. But that put us 1-0 up, and my wife, who I've been married to for nearly 30 years, bless her, that was the first game she ever came to.
Wow. I thought she did that every week, did she?
Well, she literally said that to me in the players' bar afterwards. I went up sort of like my head was massive. That's to open doors. That's to, you know, Graham's head's coming through. And I'm thinking, you know, this is a great start to our sort of relationship. And she literally said that. Well, she said, do you do that every week? And I was like,
waiting for that every day since.
Yeah, exactly. Never time she came to watch me.
Is that 30 years of hurt?
Yeah,
I suppose it is. It is. Yeah, they made a song about it.
Very good.
Just a quick one on Chelsea, because I want to come on to Harry Kane, go back to England and talk about what you're doing, which sort of fits with that. So, a pretty tough old start for Liam Rosenior. What have you made of what's going on there? You had 2 spells there, of course.
Well, I think that fundamentally he's gone into a club that's, you know, there's so much noise around the place. There's so much sort of external noise. Everyone has sort of stories about what's going on at Chelsea. You've got the ownership, the complications there that people talk about. And whether all of it's true, half of it's true, or only a small amount of it's true, it's the perception that there's no alignment at the club. And if that's your starting point from ownership, then how that cascades down through the club, through the recruitment, where you've got so many people involved in the recruitment, I think it's very hard to make people accountable, let alone review good and not so good decisions. And recruitment's tough. You know, getting it right consistently is really hard, and it comes at a cost. So, you know, what I see with Chelsea is whoever you put in there as a coach, you've got to have somebody, I think, that has a real confidence around what they can achieve with that group, how they underpin a playing style to a group of younger players, and that's by choice. You know, people talk about Chelsea being a young squad. Yeah, they are, but that's by design and choice. Then you layer everything onto it: the length of contracts, the age profile of all the players, and you start to see that there's a complete lack of balance in that team. And obviously, with Liam going into that job, you know, you cannot blame him at all for taking the job. But my goodness, that is dealing with that. You need all the experience, I think, of an older profile manager that's maybe a bit battle worn.
Is there a kind of lack of accountability? Certainly, Andy, who sits alongside me during the week, feels there's a real lack of accountability from the recruitment, from the hierarchy, and he's been left unfairly a little bit exposed at times to kind of defend all this stuff.
Well, I think any coach that's at the club has had that issue over recent years. You know, the amount of players that they're bringing in and the lack of a real understanding of the blend that you need to be competitive. And it's no good saying about a team like Chelsea with the money that they've spent that this is a project that's going to bear fruit in 2 or 3 years' time.
Isn't that their thinking, that in 2 or 3 years' time,
all these young players will train on?
You change the culture of the club. You go from a winning mentality, which was, you know, it was pretty brutal in terms of the churn at Chelsea under Roman and the staff there. You know, they hired and fired coaches quite quickly. They gave older players only 1-year extensions. So they had a set of principles that they stuck to it, you know, under Abramovich. But it was all about winning on the pitch and getting the balance right between developing players, established players, and, should we call them sort of vintage players? And getting that right is fundamental to performing on the pitch. And if you want to talk about the business of football, getting the balance right around your recruitment, about what price you bring certain players in, which players you pay bigger salaries for that maybe don't have the longevity. But that's about delivering performance at that point. A great example is Virgil van Dijk when he went to Liverpool. You know, they spent a huge amount of money on him, given his age. They spent huge salary. But what he delivered on the pitch, not just himself, but how he made that team better. With all of his experience, his body language, his awareness, all of those things helped Liverpool win the league. That's what you need to look at when you're looking at recruiting. It's too easy just buying young players because you've got a ready-made excuse because if they don't succeed, well, he was a young player, we took a chance.
Yeah.
You know, and backing yourself in, really understand.
Maybe they've done that with the manager as well.
Exactly. It's an easy hire, isn't it? And you know, we could talk about Liam and how he is with the press and whether.
Yeah, what did you make of the huddle and everything?
I mean, I think look, I said at the beginning of this chat, there's too much noise at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Doing stuff like that adds to the noise.
Sure.
And it makes you look like you're valuing things, distracting away from the things that are actually important. So it's a really unnecessary distraction that has got no upside. It's got no upside. Respecting the ball. What does that mean? You know, you can't.
It's like marketing speak, doesn't it? Really.
Well, and it's just again, look. I think he's learning on the job. He really is. He'll admit that. I think he's doing everything he can to protect himself and the players and the club to an extent. And what he's projecting just doesn't feel really not. It's not honest. But it's not really him.
No, sure.
And that's the problem. That then you create a sort of a spiraling environment where everybody's looking for the next thing we can put in the column that he's not good enough for this job. So it's a tough gig, and the only way I think to solve it is by establishing a sort of a balance in that squad that can both succeed and be consistent and fit what the ownership want, which is obviously a longer term investment strategy.
Now, I read a piece with Alison Rudyard in the Times recently, and I had no idea you were involved in this business, and it is fascinating. So tell us a little bit about it, and how it related to Manchester United and Ruben Amorim was interesting. But
I will say I'm 6 episodes into a podcast about it, Paul.
Oh, okay.
I'm still not 100% sure, so I will let Graham describe what it is.
Yeah, I could hand over to you,
it's not my
Charlie.
skills, Paul.
You're big into metrics.
Your version, just to see how much of it is accurate. So it's called Machine Football.
Yeah.
And I've always, in the work that I've done sort of post-playing, both on the sort of analysis side when I'm commentating and how you...
Because you're a pundit for NBC.
I work for
the
NBC,
American
so I co-commentate for NBC, so I've probably done over 500 Premier League games at the stadium, so you're analysing live the game and what's really going on under the surface. So I've always had that sort of analytical sort of view of the game and enjoyed that. Also working with clubs, I worked for Real Mallorca for 7 years, looking at how you buy to a particular profile of player, how it's to a budget, to an age, so you've got a balance in the squad, just what we're saying about Chelsea, and then looking at the data inputs and thinking that a lot of these don't help you understand, is that if we look at this player, how do we know through the data that he's actually going to make an impact on the pitch, he's going to make a difference?
Yeah.
So I wanted to try and sort of break that problem a bit and understand how players play together and how they have playing relationships rather than just like individual data.
Yeah.
So it's much more of a system approach around the interaction. So we've got over 1 billion touches of the ball and interactions in the system. We've got 22 machine learning models that look for different patterns and trends. And ultimately what we're doing is we're finding out what profile of player fits in what type of style of team, and then you can then predict a player that's never played in that system, what he will look like in that team. So if you're recruiting, you can analyse a player that hasn't played for Chelsea, if we use that, but he's somebody that they're looking at, and the models will predict or give a prediction score of how that player will fit into a particular system.
Now, when you at Machine Football, you were sceptical when you saw Ruben Amorim come into Manchester United and looked at the profile of the players. When you looked at the data of the profile of the players he'd worked with at Sporting and the players he would be working with at United, you saw that as a bad fit.
Yeah, so one of the things that we can do, because we've got every club in the system and 320,000 players, it was 6 games into Ruben's time at Manchester United, and I'd been commentating on a couple of games. And again, just through my experience, you could see the players were sort of not certain of their position. There was an uncertainty there. And so we modelled Ruben's team at Sporting and looked at every single player, every profile of the players, the system, and how they played the game, basically. And then you map that against the squad that he had at Manchester United, and you couldn't have got a worse fit. Wow. And that's objective measures.
And you told them that?
We did, yeah, we did. I mean, you got to be careful how you tell people stuff like that. But
yeah, because it's a bit late by then, isn't it?
They were only 6 games in, so you know, how late is it? I don't know. I mean, better late than never.
Were they a bit? Was it like, well, yeah, you could be right, you might be right, you might not.
Look, we were sort of. It was a friendly conversation.
Yeah.
That we were trying to sort of show what we could do with the business. So it wasn't. There was never a sort of a conclusion, shall we say?
Sure.
But certainly from my point of view with the business, it was a fantastic proof point, because what we could then do is then look at players that would fit in the Amorim system at United and where you start replacing players.
Yeah.
One of the first players we looked at was the left wing back, as Amorim had it, and compared the left wing back available at United to Sporting, where they had a player called Quenda, who Chelsea have bought. And there was another player, Catamol, I think his name was another player who played. They both played as wing backs. So we modelled those profiles, searched through our system, and Patrick Dorgu was one of the first of the 10 that came out. And then, of course, I'm not saying that's the answer. We don't have the answer.
Yeah.
What we have is we have a system that will create a short list of players that fit a profile. Then all your scouting, all the psychological analysis, all the understanding of the player. You've obviously got contracts, you've got age, you've got all of those things that you build around the player. But as a starting point, I think it's proved to me how powerful what we're looking for, both on an individual level and a team level, is, and how we can help clubs, again, take away some of that outside sort of pressure of that comes with recruitment.
Well, there's more stories like this in the podcast.
That with jokes, Charlie. That with jokes. It's called Football So What, and it should be called the Graeme Le Saux. But we are working on that as we go.
Football So What, and you'll find out more about stuff that Graham's up to. Good to see you, Graham. Thank you very much for coming in.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Graham. See you next week.
We're going to be chatting to James Coles next, Sussex and England Lions cricketer. Hopefully, possibly this summer, England cricketer. But he certainly made an impact in the 100, went for £390,000 in the auction. We'll be chatting to James in a few moments' time. We're here with Tool Station. Get your toolbox essentials this spring. Big savings on screws and fixings. Next stop, Tool Station.
Listen, it's hard to put in this in order, so don't judge me on the order.
No, I don't want any order off you. I
so
just want your top 10.
Thierry Henry, Alan Shearer, Rooney, Salah, Gerrard, Patrick Vieira, Kevin De Bruyne, Aguero, Lampard, and one player to finish it off. Yes, didn't win anything at this club, but when he was at his best that season for Spurs, Gareth Bale. He was unbelievable.
Yeah. Right, now
Go on, dig me out then.
Well, no, the obvious thing to do, two names that spring to mind, would hit you with them. But unlike most people, I'm going to commend you and say yes, with the vast majority of them. I mean, it's impossible to put... Do you know something? What I would say to you is this. I don't think anybody would have any arguments probably with 7 of your 10.
Yeah.
You might have one or two that your own favourites, like you say, you enjoy watching, and they're special to you. Henry, Shearer, absolutely different level.
Yes.
Different level. Absolutely different level. And you've obviously, after that, you've got Rooney, Salah, Gerrard, for me as well, would come into the equation. Lampard's absolutely in the equation. The two, yes. The two that I would maybe look at and say consider themselves slightly unlucky, I don't see Harry Kane, I don't see Ryan Giggs.
Yep.
You've not got Roy Keane in it, have you?
No.
So there's maybe 3 that would that would certainly be in some people's top
100%.
10, Gab.
Paul Hawksbee, Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. Hope you enjoyed that chat with Graeme Le Saux. Hopefully we can get Graeme back in for a chat and go and check out his podcast with Charlie as well. Just remind us what it's called, Charlie?
It's called Football So What.
Football So What, wherever you get your podcasts. So, on to cricket. County Championship, of course, getting underway shortly. And joining us now to chat about that is Sussex cricketer James Coles. Hi, James.
Hello, James.
Hello, guys. How are you?
Yeah, not so bad. Not so like the sun's shining now. I mean, obviously, opening day, it'll be pouring with rain and about -3. That's what tends to happen. Yeah, it does look very nice.
Sleeveless sweater, at least, I'd say today. Yeah.
From a Sussex point of view, we can't dress it up. It's going to be a tough season for you guys. There's this 12-point deduction in the county championship for sustained operating losses. I mean, it's all well above your pay grade, but it's going to be a tough season.
Yeah, I mean, we all pretty much know now what's been going on. But yeah, the boys are pretty focused. It's going to be an this year, and then hopefully that can sort it out.
Does it galvanise a dressing room, that sort of thing? Then you think? I'm sure you've talked about it.
Yeah, without a doubt. Like the boys seem pretty keen to try and do well this year, more so than ever. Just because, if things don't go to plan, then we might not all be together again. So yeah, no, we all get on really well. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
Good.
And the cricketers off season, when you, I'm assuming you do nets throughout the whole winter, and then once you get back, start getting back outside again. Do you find what goes first? What do you have to sort of? Is it your eye? Is it your arm? What is it?
Yeah, I don't know. Like the weather's been pretty good to us, so we've been able to get outside earlier than normal. Few beanies being worn though.
Yeah.
Few hand warmers being thrown about. But no, it's I don't know. Everyone has their different ways of going about how they prep for the season. A few lads get away, try and go abroad and play over there.
Of course.
A few lads like to stay here in the winter and stay at home with their families and then crack on in the indoor nets. But yeah, it's not a one size fits all.
You've had a busy one. You've been playing franchise cricket. You were playing for England Lions, of course, and this year has started rather well for you after that 100 auction. We were watching it all unfold. So you went for £390,000. It was the big headline of the auction. I mean, where did you watch it and what did you make of it?
Yeah, it was pretty weird. I was on the train initially for the start of the auction, and then I got back to my flat and I was sat there pretty much in pitch black darkness. Blinds were closed, headphones on. It was a pretty weird setting, but yeah, no, it still hasn't quite sunk in the whole thing. But yeah, it was a pretty mad day.
I mean, does it bring an extra pressure, all that publicity, or not?
Yeah, I think it definitely probably does. But I'd like to think now I've played quite a lot of cricket, so I'm quite experienced with someone my age. I'd think played almost 150 games. I think now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd like to think I've got experience behind me. So they never say you're quite ready for, when. But yeah, no, ever so grateful for the opportunity, and thankfully haven't stopped yet.
You said you played Lions. You had a successful time there. I'm sure you do want to play for England, and a lot of people are tipping you to sort of be involved this summer. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I mean, It's my dream to play for England and have like a long career there. But you can never guarantee those things. So hopefully I get the opportunity, but understanding if it doesn't happen. But hopefully when it does, if it does, I'll be ready.
I mean, those batting spots are pretty heavily contested where you like to bat, ideally, sort of 4 or 5-ish. But you're a good spin bowler. You're an all rounder, and that brings its own sort of cachet, doesn't it? Really, everybody's looking for somebody who can do both. So I think you're pretty well set. Fingers crossed.
I agree.
Yeah, hopefully so. It adds a bit of balance to a team. So, I like to think it's somewhat valuable in that way.
Do you think you're a better batter than bowler, or vice versa?
Red ball, I'd probably say batter,
Mm.
and then now white ball, I'd probably say I'm pretty even in both attributes.
Fantastic.
The dearth of spin bowlers, Paul, of decent ones. So we need James there. We need.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, and we've seen with Will Jacks getting in. Like bowlers who can bat, etc.
Yeah.
Well, look, have a good season, James. It's been good to talk to you.
Thank
We
you,
were
James.
struggling a bit with a line, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you play for England soon. And as you are nominally Middlesex, and that's my county, with London spirit. I hope you have a good season. Thanks very much.
Beautiful. Thanks for having me.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
guys.
That's James Coles there. Went for 390 in the auction.
Nice.
Imagine he'll be playing a bit of IPL soon, but he's sort of.
I was going to say
chosen
IPL,
to play.
must come knocking.
Wants to
soon.
play
Yeah,
here and wants to kind of establish himself. It's good, really.
It's good that the cricketers can go around the world and make
he's very
proper
good
money now, isn't it?
He's very good in South Africa over the winter. Played brilliantly, and there was a real buzz about him. But I think from what he said, even he was surprised he went for just shy of 400 grand. Wow, amazing. Anyway, in the next hour, Jared O'Connor joins us. He's 30 years of Rugby League Super League this weekend, and Jared plays for Leeds Rhinos. His dad, Terry, was a player back in the day, in the early days. So we'll be chatting to Jared. Jack Savoretti joins us. Of course, Italian football fan, Genoa fan and Italy fan. They take on Northern Ireland tonight. Paddy Power's going to join us a little bit later on as well. He's getting right behind the Republic of Ireland. He'll tell us how. And West Ham fans, a new song for you to serenade your team to survival. We'll find out more from Joseph Jones, musician and West Ham fan, later in the show. French club Lens have described PSG's request to postpone their top-of-the-table Ligue 1 clash as troubling because it would mean bowing, quotes, to the demands of the most powerful. The French FA have received another request from PSG to postpone their clash against Lens to help with more preparation for their Champions League quarter-final tie against Liverpool. We know that PSG successfully requested to have their game against Nantes before the Chelsea game postponed. So we know this happens, but Lens are saying not so fast. So the basic question here is, will the French bow to favouritism? Eric Bieldeman is top journalist with L'Equipe. Eric, bon après-midi, my friend. How are you? Where is this going? Are Lens going to get their way, or will PSG get their way?
Hi, good afternoon, my friends. I am afraid that I fear that Paris Saint-Germain will win the contest versus Lens because the French professional league is really very close to Nasser El Khelaifi, the chairman of Paris Saint-Germain, who is the chairman of French football, and also the chairman, I would even say, of European football through the European Club Association. So we have there a very strong power, and the meaning of French football is that European challenge, and to win an European trophy is more important than to respect the home league.
Knuckleball free kicks. They used to be all the rage, but when was the last time you saw someone score with one? We're going to take a look at why we're not really seeing them anymore, and also explain a bit more about how they work. The knuckleball peaked in the 2010s, probably because that Ronaldo strike in 2008 inspired academy players everywhere. Here's a young Mason Mount.
I tried to base my free kick on Ronaldo, hit the ball by the valve, and it moves. So what do? Top corner, top bins.
The name knuckleball comes from a baseball pitch held with the knuckles rather than the fingertips, which doesn't spin as it travels. Now, no ball is a perfect sphere, so as it travels, it creates ever-changing pockets of turbulent air, causing that unpredictable movement. Brazilian free-kick specialist Juninho Pernambucano wasn't the first player to do it, but he did perfect it, scoring 77 free kicks over his career, more than anyone else. He was inspired by 90s midfielder Marcelinho Carioca and a guy called Didi, who was hitting knuckleballs in the 50s and 60s. Brazilians call it the dry leaf, because the ball looks like a leaf that gets blown around in the wind this way and that. So how do you do it? The key point is to hit the ball head on, usually with a straighter run-up. It's a punch-like shot and, crucially, as short a contact time as possible so the ball doesn't spin. Some people think players hit the valve to affect the air inside the ball. That's not the reason. It's because the part of the ball around the valve is more rigid, helping to shorten that contact time. Remember the David Luiz beauty against Colombia in the 2014 World Cup? We don't really see knuckleballs anymore. Why? Because players are being told not to shoot from dead ball situations because the XG is so low. In fact, as Opta shows here, since the 08-09 season, there's been a 10% reduction in players shooting from free kicks in the Premier League. In 23-24, a record low of 11 free kicks found the back of the net. And the knuckleball, by its very nature, is imprecise, which is why it's becoming a thing of the past.
Good afternoon, it's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs. No, it's not. It's Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here. Muscle memory. Sorry, Charlie.
It's all right, Paul, don't worry. I know you don't engage your brain before you speak.
No, I don't. I never have.
Phone it in.
Never have.
Turn up.
Might as well get chat.
Turn up 5 to 1.
Yeah. Blah, blah, blah.
What's in the show? All right, yeah.
Read the whole thing. Jared O'Connor joins us from Leeds Rhinos a little bit later on.
Yeah.
Paddy Power's going to join us. He turned to divine intervention to get the Republic over the line in the Czech Republic tonight.
He's got gold shoes after Cheltenham. They all did really well, didn't they, actually?
Oh, yeah, they're all marvellously well.
Great.
And Joseph Jones, musician and West Ham fan, has got a new song for the boys to cheer them over the line in their battle to stay up. And ChatGPT. Before that, though, it's been pretty controversial. Simon Jordan was talking about it earlier on. Adam Cattrall himself has taken to social media to qualify a few things, but Conor Benn has opened up about his split with Eddie Hearn and finding his boxing identity in an emotional interview with talkSPORT's very own Adam Cattrall. Here he is explaining why he doesn't owe Matchroom anything after leaving to join Dana White's Zuffa Promotions.
Do you feel like you owed Matchroom anything?
No, I don't. I don't feel like I owe anybody anything. I owe my family, I owe my son a good life. I owe my son a blessed life. I owe my opening doors for my son that no one else can open. It's my responsibility. That is my responsibility. He is my legacy. Not just my son, my daughter, and potentially more kids on the way. You know, that is my legacy. Everything else is just noise. And I really use my dad's career as a sort of benchmark, because who checks for my dad now? Who pays for my dad's bills now? Who would have paid for my dad's bills when I was in school or put me through private school? Nobody. You know, so yes, I'm hot topic right now. I'm not always going to be.
So there we are. You can watch the full interview between Conor Benn and Adam Cattrall right now over on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. And don't forget, live boxing returns to talkSPORT this Saturday as heavyweight sensation Moses Hitam, big friend of Charlie's, faces the never knocked out Jermaine Franklin in Manchester's Co-op Live Arena.
Is that his nickname? Is it Never Knocked Out?
Never knocked out.
Well, quite confident going into the ring.
It would be never knowingly undersold. It's like a boxing's version of John Lewis. Should be a great fight, though. I'm really looking forward to it. So you'll hear it live on Talks.
Never knocked out. Oh, there was that one time.
Never knowingly knocked out. Being knocked out wasn't. No, I suppose that's the nature of being.
That's being knocked out, Paul.
Really, yeah.
And that's being knocked out for you.
That is being knocked out.
Anyway,
now it is. I'm afraid time for this.
H&B versus ChatGPT.
Although in our own way we'll be previewing all of the playoff games featuring Northern Ireland, Wales and the Republic of Ireland tonight with our various guests.
Yeah.
This is a chance for us to try and predict the scores and take on ChatGPT.
Oh, yeah.
The sage, the knower of all things. Machine learning.
Learning from itself, Paul, at all times.
It's got absolutely no excuse not to win and be the best predictor of football matches every week.
It is top of the league, Paul. Top of the league with 4. Oh, no, joint top of the league with you.
Okay, we're both on 14 points. You find yourself on 8.
I'm on 8. You got 11 points last week.
I had a good week, Charlie.
Incredible week. And ChatGPT got 7 points. I got 6 points last week. I'm on 8. Currently 6 behind everybody else.
Well, let's check in with Chat. Hello, Chat. What have you been up to this week?
Hello, lads. Al Watkins has been asking me all week why he is not in the 35.
Old Watkins. I think you find that's Ollie Watkins. Old Watkins is an old bluegrass
good old Watkins
singer. Good old Watkins.
It's me, Old Watkins, singing.
And so what did you say to old Watkins when he asked you that?
I can't answer you, Ollie.
Oh, that's a shame.
I am AI, lads, not Beardry.
If you've never heard this section before, well, you're in luck.
Might be the last time.
Because the thing is, we couldn't afford the kind of quality ChatGPT voice you've got used to, so we got slightly shonky 80s speaking spell machine. But that, they have their own personality.
So what he said then was he was asking it because it's like you always say, Paul, it's like sooty, isn't it? It's like,
you have to it's like dances, right? It's like an old vent act.
That's what it is. Yeah, Ollie Watkins has been asking him all week why he's not in the 35.
Yes.
I can't answer you, lads.
Yeah.
I'm not Deirdre. That's very nice.
You've got to explain it all, Charlie.
I know, it's bad.
Probably is the last one.
In many ways, I could have just done it.
So anyway, Chat, what have you been up to this week?
I am doing AI last one laughing, lads.
Oh, AI last one laughing.
Good show.
Ha, 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 ha.
Well, it sounds like you lost, doesn't it?
It's a good show. Bob Mortimer's very funny on it, isn't he? Yeah.
How did the show go, AI last one laughing, Chat?
Gemini was first out. Kept laughing at the Amstrad email machine.
Oh, the Amstrad email. Don't mention that to Lord Sugar. He gets a bit upset about the Amstrad email machine.
Charged for emails, Paul. Charged you for every email.
Doesn't like people laughing at it, Chat.
Ha, 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 ha.
Who else was in it?
Who else? Yeah, tell us.
Co-pilot got down to the last 2, but lost to a Casio synthesizer from 1984.
1984. Okay.
I love Axel F. Lads.
Oh, yeah, Axel F.
Who loved it, doesn't he?
Lovely.
So the show, you tell us about it.
Yeah, he's in the show.
It is all robots. And Jimmy Carr, and so it is all robots.
Oh, that's quite a good joke, that.
Ha, 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 ha.
Okay, anything else you've been up to where you want to say, Chat?
Tottenham in the quicksand, Paul.
Oh, that's absolutely right.
Another season in the National League South for the Gulls, Charles.
Oh, that's a shame.
Charles.
I love the Beavers.
At least you're not old Watkins.
Old Watkins.
Old Watkins.
He loves the Beavers, Paul. He said he loves the Beavers.
Of course he loves the Beavers.
He loves the Beavers.
Let's get underway then. We're going to try and predict the scores. Play along at home if you must. Wales-Bosnia tonight. We're going to be chatting to Rod Woodward, comedian, about the game later on. Chat, you're in the league. Kick us off. What's going to happen in this game?
It will be tense, but Wales' home energy should see them through. Wales 2, Bosnia 1.
Yeah, I fancy Wales tonight. I think the atmosphere will be great. I think, as we've been hearing from Toby there, he's got the players right up for it, as Craig. I think Bosnia will go chasing it 2-1 down. Brennan Johnson on the break. 3-1 Wales.
Nice.
Going.
I think they're going to score some goals, Paul. I agree. Because he's going to send them out to score. I'm going to say 3-0.
3-0.
3-0 tonight.
Okay.
Do Paul and Charlie know that ChatGPT has been moonlighting on a Benny Benassi track? Don't know who that is.
Really?
Would like to hear it if anyone can find it.
If we can find that Benny Benassi
track.
And we'll make sure he gets his royalties,
Yeah,
our
of
mate
course.
Chat.
Yeah, okay.
So there we are. The talkSPORT listeners home in the car. Czech Republic versus Republic of Ireland. Paddy Power tells us how they're going for a bit of divine intervention later on. But Chat, what about this one?
The Czechs are formidable at home. Expect a cagey affair with the Czechs grinding out a narrow 1-0 win.
You're going 1-0.
1-0.
They're not in the greatest of nick, the Czech Republic. I think this might be a long night. I'm going to go 1 each. I mean, it can go extra
1-1.
time and pens. It's got to be decided tonight.
The Benny Benassi track is called Satisfaction, apparently.
Okay, well, we'll find it. We'll go 1 each.
One
then.
each you've gone for, have you, Paul? Yeah, I fancy. Yeah, I think Czech Republic 2-1.
Oh, you okay? So you see,
I think Republic of Ireland are the team that definitely miss out, unfortunately. But look, we'll find out.
We'll see.
I might be very wrong, Paul.
talkSPORT listeners home in the car, and finally, Italy, Northern Ireland. Jack Savoretti joining us a little bit later on to chat about this one. But Chat, what say you?
Italy finds themselves in the dreaded playoffs for the third consecutive World Cup cycle. Italy's quality in midfield should eventually break down the stubborn Irish defence. 2-0 win for Italia.
What are you laughing at him
He's
for?
running out of Are you running out of batteries?
I think it does sound like he's got a bit of trouble.
Going wrong.
Call for the Duracell bunny. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe an early goal might get Northern Ireland chasing it. I'm going 3-0. Sorry. I mean, Italy have got a lot of injuries as well. I know Northern Ireland have got a few key players out as well, but I just think they'll just have a bit too much.
If Northern Ireland are going to do it, they've got to keep it tight tonight, haven't they? You've got to keep it.
What do you think, Charlie?
I'm going to say 1-0 Italy tonight.
1-0 Italy?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Well, let's hope we're completely wrong about that. So there we are. So, Chat, just remind us who you love.
I love the Beavers.
He loves the Beavers.
He doesn't normally say it in a very matter-of-fact like that.
I love the Beavers.
It's like he's making a statement. Like he's,
I love the Beavers.
like he's called a press conference to say that. Very weird. So there we are.
Afraid to say,
That was,
I love the Beavers.
And you thought the birthday spread was a waste of time. That was H&B versus ChatGPT. Still to come. Joseph Jones, West Ham supporting singer-songwriter, joining us to play his new song, to hopefully inspire the lads to get over the line and stay up in the Premier League. Paddy Power will join us as well, and Jared O'Connor. It's 30 years this weekend of Super League, Rugby League, and Jared the Leeds Rhinos. Hooker will be joining us for a quick chat, plus Jack Savoretti to look at the Italy game later on against Northern Ireland. We're here, of course, with Toolstation. Explore the full collection of garden power tools with top brands such as Karsha and Makita. Next stop, Toolstation.
I love the Beavers.
Will that result have put a little bit of a seed of doubt in the Arsenal players in terms of the championship run-in?
He said, will it give a bit of doubt? for Arsenal now going into the league?
No, I don't think so. I actually think it could work in our favour because you're seeing the amount of players that are being pulled out of their international teams. Sounds to me like Mikel's going, guys, I'm going to need you fit here. And if you're looking at the players that are not included, they're the players that are pretty much certified to play for their countries anyway. The likes of Gabriel, the likes of...
Are you okay with that, though? Players turning down their country?
Absolutely fine with it, mate. Right now, put it this way. If you do well for Arsenal, you're guaranteed to play for your nation anyway. So I think the only players that are not going to miss out on the opportunity are those that are on the fringes.
But as Savio Ancelotti and Gabriel's not turned up, do you not see that as turning you back on your country?
No, because the reality is he knows what's at stake over there. Ancelotti's a winner. You know, we have to start winning. It's actually going to be good for the national team once Arsenal start winning.
Does that result, though, on Sunday put doubt in your mind to win the Champions League? You know, like big one-off games, and Arsenal haven't showed up.
No, I don't see why it should. I mean, if I'm honest with you, I'm not even going to the next round of Champions League games. I'm not going to the sporting games.
Why?
Because we should be beating those teams. We've got it in the bag.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Just like that?
Just like that. And you know what? That loss is going to help us because now the attitude is, look, we have no choice but to win. There's a higher expectation now. We can look at the situation with the goalkeeper, and I've had time to reflect, right? Yeah. I was really upset on Sunday, you know, because you were messaging me, right? Really upset.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, you're not sorry. But I look at that and I go, you know what? Now is the time now. You don't owe anyone anything, Mikel.
Push me, and then just touch me, till I can get my satisfaction.
Push me, and then just hurt me.
This is the song.
This is the song that Chat's been... that's his cousin. That's his cousin, Dave. Yeah, that's his cousin,
do a cover of it.
We should do a cover of it with our Chat.
With our Chat. That's what we should have done. Once upon a time.
If we got a bit of time.
That's what would have happened around here. They used to build ships.
Who... Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a good point, Charlie. 03717. What's happened to our glorious nation? Who sent that in to us?
Chrissy sent it in. To Paul and Charlie. I've been moonlighting on a Benny Benassi track.
Yeah,
and it's called Satisfaction. Let's hear a little bit more of it if we can.
Just touch me till I can get my satisfaction.
In the mud, Paul. Spurs are in the mud.
Going down with the Wolves. Now, news of our latest competition.
Oh, good news.
It's landed. It's a big one. We might as well keep this under it, shall we?
Why not?
talkSPORT are giving you the chance to win 20 grand completely tax-free. That's £20,000 that could be yours. Don't miss your chance to win this life-changing amount of money. Listen up for how to enter. Charlie.
Now, you can text WIN to 83338. Text costs £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 418 7260. Lines close 9th April 2026, 4 p.m. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus, UK residents only. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksport.com. For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 now.
Let's have a slightly more relaxed.
Yeah,
but
come on now.
Stirring tune now. One for the West Ham fans. Have a listen to this.
I'll follow you through bad and good on terraces of faded dreams. They'll never take the East End out of me. And you, claret and blue, on any day the Irons play, you'll never take the East End out of me.
That's Joseph J. Jones. You'll never take the East End, which sounds a bit. You'll never, but it's not.
It's not.
As
It's
you
not,
can
it's not
hear.
as it's less aggressive than that.
It certainly is. Hello, Joseph.
Hello, Joseph.
How you doing? You all right, mate?
Yeah, we're good. That's lovely. I mean, I was expecting when it was actually Dean Ashton who alerted this to us, our colleague and former West Ham striker, and he was telling me about the song when we'd like to chat with you, and I did have visions of it being a bit of a thumper, a football style anthem. So I was. It sounds a lovely song.
Yeah, it's a love letter to the club, really. You know, you can see me sort of sitting where I wrote it. I wrote it with my mate Dave Snedden, and I just wanted to lift the fans a little bit in a bit of a dour moment. I wrote it about a year ago, so it was about the time when Potter was in charge. And I just wanted to write something that reminded us of who we are and where we're from, and you know. I decided to release it in a relegation battle, which could be.
Although things have picked up, haven't they, Joseph? I mean, you know, they've found a couple of good signings in January. Nuno getting things sorted at the back. Somerville, thanks to good old Dr. Tottenham, suddenly showing amazing form. So you must be a lot more optimistic than you were about 5 or 6 weeks ago.
I think as a West Ham fan, we're eternally optimistic. You know what I mean? But it just. You know, it's nice to see things have sort of turned around. It's a shame about, you know, what happened with Villa. I did think that was a real opportunity, but we obviously didn't have Somerville, and Todibo got a little knock before. So I think that sort of shifted stuff out of place. But, you know, I don't feel like we're the worst team in the Prem, really. Unfortunately, mate, I think it's Spurs.
Well, at the moment, you can't argue with that. The numbers tell you that.
There's a lot of soul in your song. You know, it brings up the history of the club and, you know, the history of the players and how it feels to be a fan. Can you hear it sung around the new stadium that feels like a pretty soulless place to me, Joseph?
Yeah, I mean, it did get played. I mean, it got played about an hour before kickoff, but I'll take it, you know.
Yeah.
So it was quite a moment, really. And yeah, I mean, you know, us as West Ham fans, we've got a lot of soul, you know. We're sort of the giggle at a funeral, if you like, you know. But yeah, I just feel like I wanted to give something to the fans. And also, I mean, we don't need a song. We've got Bubbles, you know. Bubbles is our song. But, you know, I decided to write something, you know, I write a lot about loved ones, you know, and I thought it was my first love, and it was West Ham.
Yeah.
So I wanted to, you know, write this love letter to the club. And as I say, it's just an artist's point of view, if you like. So yeah.
Imagine the first time they played Bubbles, wasn't it? We playing this for?
Yeah.
So playing this song for?
I don't know the history of when Bubbles was first played. I don't know if you, Joseph, I'm landing this on you a bit, but I don't, do we know where it came from? I'm not expecting you to be the club historian.
There was a lad that looked like the old Soapbox Kid, I do believe.
Right.
So they would sing the song to him because it's a Great American Songbook. Yeah. The Great American Songbook. You know, you got Dean Martin and Vera Lynn that sing it as well. And then from then it just sort of stuck. I think there's more involved in how it come to, and then you've obviously got the Bowling Boys 1975 version, which on the flip side of that, the B side, which is a wicked tune as well, is West Ham United by the Bowling Boys. So any West Ham fans listening, go and have a little listen to that tune.
Good stuff. So where can people find the song then, Joseph? Where can people download it?
So it's on all DSPs, and obviously if you want to go and watch the music video, which is sort of, you know, a big sort of capturing moment for it, you've got a lot of ex-players in it. You know, you got Sir Trevor Brooking in the video, you got your man Dean Ashton, you got Julian Dix, Paul Konchesky, Tony Cottee, to name a few, you know, George Paris, Jeff Pike, and it was amazing, you know, just to sort of do that in the Bowling pub. It was pretty surreal, to be honest. So yeah, you can find it on YouTube, on all DSPs like Spotify, you know, Apple Music, Amazon Music. So yeah, and if you go on, you know, my name at Joseph J Jones, it's always popping up. It's all I'm posting at the moment.
Brilliant. Well, look, we wish you well, but Joseph. I'd say hope you stay up, but of course it'd be at my expense, so I can't. But
we'll do it. We'll do it, mate.
West Ham Millwall next season. Play that. You never take the East End.
Well, there'll be
you there. Yeah.
Well, that's if Millwall could be coming up. I mean, depends how you look at it. Yeah. Thank you, Joseph. All the best. Thanks a lot.
All the best. See you later, boys.
Joseph J. Jones, a musician and West Ham fan. His song, the video is very good.
Very
You're
good
a West Ham
indeed.
fan or not.
Yeah.
So all the stars are in it. You'll never take the East End. It's Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. Paddy Power going to join us, tell us how he is getting right behind the Republic of Ireland this evening in their game in the Czech Republic. And Jack Savoretti will be joining us, as well as Jared O'Connor from the world of Rugby League, Super League of Leeds Rhinos.
This season, the recruitment's not worked. They tried to replace Isak with two strikers, Visser and Voltamada, who've both struggled. I actually think Visser is better than people give him credit for. He just needs a good run. Ilanga doesn't play well often enough, flattered to deceive. So who was in charge of recruitment? Who did that? There's a question. The other big problem they've got, and where Eddie's problem, I like Eddie a lot, me watching Newcastle as long as I have this season, and they're a great watch generally because they go after teams, play high energy. But their second half performances and results in a league table, they'd be 16th. And that's because they're not adaptable. They're trying to mix a European campaign and a Premier League campaign.
Yeah.
Playing this 100 miles an hour. Now, you need a supreme squad of athletes to play that way. I don't see often enough Newcastle go, today we're going to go, let's be a bit more pragmatic. And it's great at home. It works sometimes.
Isn't it a constant trend for Newcastle? Every time they qualify for a Champions League season,
to struggle a bit.
They struggle in the rest of the season. Yeah. I think the first season when they qualify for the Champions League,
That's my point, because of the style.
So it is a Champions League situation. It's a squad situation.
Amount of games, yeah.
And also, at the beginning of the season, Newcastle were very poor away from home. Yeah. They weren't able to get any points in the first sort of 5, 6, 7, 8 games in terms of or score any goals. And that may play into some of it.
And of course, it might get worse before it gets better, because if there's no European football for Newcastle United, it might be goodbye to some of the big names. Bruno Guimaraes, Sandro Tonali, to name but two.
The German leading England. It all sounds a little bit odd, but as Thomas Tuchel tries to bring football home, here's how he ended up in one of the most scrutinised jobs in sport. Well, Tuchel started his footballing journey in the sleepy town of Krimbach. His leadership skills were obvious from an early age, with Tuchel even making subs during PE volleyball sessions. After a knee injury ended his playing career at the age of 25, Tuchel accepted his first coaching role in the Stuttgart U setup in 2000. He led the club's under-19s to their league title 5 years later, but his perceived abrasive personality meant Stuttgart chose not to renew his contract. He went on to spend 5 years at the helm at Mainz before leaving the club for Dortmund. And there, Tuchel secured his first major trophy, the German Cup, in 2017. 8 more pieces of silverware came next for Tuchel in just 5 seasons at PSG, Chelsea and Bayern Munich. And that CV impressed the top brass at the FA.
We found so many similarities and so many things that suited my approach and my hunger to achieve special things. I always wanted to come back to England.
Well, he said all the right things, but is destiny on Tuchel's side?
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. Now, you're probably wondering why I was sitting in these Paddy Power Child of Prague T-shirts currently. We were supposed to talk to Paddy now, but he's not there.
Oh, that's nice.
And then we're going to chat to Jared O'Connor from Leeds Rhinos afterwards, but he is there. So I'm not getting changed again.
Not going
It's
to
only so much I'll do for Paddy Power.
You look so smart.
We will chat to Paddy later on. But it is 30 years of marvellous Super League, Rugby League. This Sunday, Leeds Rhinos playing Warrington Wolves, and it's part of a sort of big anniversary year stuff that's season that's going on. And Jared O'Connor, Leeds Rhinos hooker, joins us now. Hi, Jared.
Hi, Jared.
Hi, you all right?
Good, thank you. I suppose you were always, because your dad played for Wigan amongst others. You were kind of steeped in it. Was it? When did you start to take the game seriously, or did you always fear you were going to end up playing the game because of your dad?
Well, yeah, when I started watching my dad, obviously, I think most people want to be like the dads, don't they, and follow in their footsteps. So as soon as I sort of knew what was going on, I knew that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, the kind of sons and daughters of famous players in any sport. Does it bring a bit of a pressure? Yeah. You know, your dad played so many games from great sides and then went on to be a commentator. Does it bring a bit more pressure to people? Expect a bit more of you because of your surname?
Some people might feel it. I feel like I've never really felt the pressure. Obviously, I grew up around the sport for a long time now, so it's something that I've sort of grown up used to, and yeah, don't really think about it too much and just feel like any other one of the players.
No, the fans this weekend are encouraged to rep your retro.
That's right.
And wear
the old shirts.
The old shirts. Have you got any of your dad's old shirts, or have you completely said, I'm not wearing those, it's tough enough?
He never played for Leeds, did he?
No, but he might have put the shirts on.
I don't think they'd like you wearing a Wigan shirt. It wouldn't go down massively well, would it? Yeah. But it's quite nice. The clubs have been kind of, some of the kits this season are a sort of hark back to the early days of Super League for those teams that can do it, aren't they?
Yeah, well, we've got like a retro badge on our shirt this year, which is quite cool. It's a similar one to, we wear it every couple of years just to show what it was before Leeds Rhinos and just show a bit of heritage of our club, which is always quite cool to wear them special kits.
It was Tetley's Bitter was on the shirt back in the day, wasn't it? I remember that very early shirt, probably when it became Super League. So how are you finding the season so far from a Rhinos point of view, Jared?
Yeah, really good. We obviously had a decent start to the season, especially with that win against Hull KR in Vegas, and then past 2 weeks we've dropped off a little bit, but I'm sure this week everyone's fired up, and after our coaches obviously had a few stern words with us after the last game, we're all pumped up and just ready to go again.
Do you think it's a bit of post-Vegas hangover? I mean, we saw a little bit of that last season. I mean, have you sensed a little bit of that? I suppose it's hard not to, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I don't feel like we feel it at the minute, but it's one of them. It's probably, you don't realise how much it did take out of you just the whole week. But obviously, it's no excuse for not winning games, and we're not going to use any excuses.
It must have been a great experience to go over there and play.
Yeah, it was surreal. But I think it's probably once in a lifetime trip. There's not many clubs that'll go over and do stuff like that. So yeah, we definitely took the opportunity when we could and enjoyed the whole week. And I think that showed with the performance that we had over there. It's just everyone enjoying themselves.
It does sound like a fixture now, though. They're already talking about next year. It looks like it's going to be a regular part of the calendar.
Well, the whole NRL money coming in as well, that really gives the sport a good future, doesn't it, Paul?
We're seeing them getting involved in clubs and stuff. And if there's any other players out there listening today, you'd recommend it as a good trip.
Yeah, 100%. There's to be fair, I think most players in Super League will be dying to go, and personally, I'm hoping Leeds are trying to go again next year.
Yeah,
and, being a bit greedy, but yeah, I'd love to go again, and I'd advise anyone to go over there if they can.
Fantastic.
Yeah, two fixtures that were played in the first round of games in '96 were Castleford Tigers and Bradford Bulls, and Leeds Rhinos, Warrington Wolves. Is it good for Leeds to have Bradford back in the league, or you wanted to keep them down as long as possible?
No, I've said since they come up that I'm really excited they're back in. I think the thing Leeds probably missing is that big derby. Obviously, we've got Cass who we play against, but missing that real actual derby. So, and especially with the crowds that Bradford have been getting this year, I think they're averaging about 10,000 at the minute. So when we play them on Good Friday, I'm hoping there'll be a good 20,000 fans there, which will be a really good atmosphere.
And they're just behind you on the same points. They've made a decent start, haven't they?
Yeah, I think they've shocked quite a few people. Obviously, they've signed some really good players, but how quickly they've probably gelled as a team. They've started really well, which obviously you want to see all them new teams do well and not just come in and get beat every week. So yeah, really happy they've started well.
So after the FC game the other day, you want to bounce back, and it's not going to be easy though. Warrington doing pretty well so far, aren't they?
Yeah, I always think after a loss, it's always better to play them better teams, because if you beat, say, a lower side, you don't feel like you've redeemed yourself enough. So coming up against Warrington, who are undefeated this year, it'll be a good test, and we always seem to turn up for them big games, which I'm sure everyone's excited for.
Nice one. Well, enjoy the game. All the best, Jared. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you. Cheers.
Leeds Rhinos hooker there. That's Jared O'Connor. And there's part of the sort of ongoing festivities for 30 years of Super League this weekend.
Good weekend.
Next Sunday is actually the anniversary. But now it's time for this.
Paddy Power on talkSPORT. Check out Paddy's latest offers on the Paddy Power app or at paddypower.com. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
And the reason we're all we're all children
modelling,
of...
Paul, I think.
Children, that's modelling. Children of Prague tonight T-shirts.
I am breathing in.
It's because it's Ireland's biggest game in years tonight. They play World Cup qualifier against the Czech Republic in Prague. And Paddy Power joins us with the latest odds and to explain why we are fully kitted out. And while we've got a bobblehead, which doesn't feel right. A bobblehead of a religious icon. That's not the way they often go.
And some key rings, Paul.
And some lovely key rings, yeah.
Lucky key rings.
Good afternoon, Paddy.
Hello, Paddy.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you getting on? I'm all donned out myself. The anything we'll do for a free T-shirt, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah,
now, it's worth explaining... the Child of Prague is a bit of a thing, isn't it, over in Ireland? Tell us when the Child of Prague comes out.
So the Child of Prague is a tradition. Like, it's literally anybody who was, I don't know, growing up in the 70s, 80s, 90s, in the 2000s even, would have had a Child of Prague statue in their house. Absolutely 100% for sure. And it'd be put in the window if there was a family wedding coming up.
Oh, okay.
Because it would mean there'd be good weather for the wedding. So it was like you'd say a prayer to Child of Prague for good weather. Now, I remember in our house, it was like, it's etched into my memory. It's very traumatic. Myself and my brother were playing football in the house at one stage, and we basically knocked over the Child of Prague statue, and we knocked it down. It smashed. And I just remember my mother going like that. This is probably in February, and we've basically ruined the summer.
And what sort of summer was it, Paddy? Can you remember? Or did you?
I don't remember it being brought up again, so we must have got away with it. Maybe God forgave us. I'm not sure, but jeepers, it's just one of those kind of. I don't know how religious it is. It's obviously there's something religious about it, but like it's one of it's a real mammy thing. Do you know what I mean? It's real.
Okay, yeah.
Well, if they're all marching on your offices in Dublin with lit torches, you'll know how religious it is later on today.
Yeah, but now I still haven't quite put 2 and 2 together as in what difference it makes if we get really good weather in Prague. Is that just going to make us win, or is that just going to make better crack for the fans? I'm not sure.
The thing is, you've got the better of it of the two islands. I mean, what's a pint going to cost you in Genoa? Probably about €4 or €5 plus, I would think, even in the pound a pint in Prague. So I think the Republic boys have got the best of it, really.
And it looks amazing over there. I mean, I'm delighted to see it now. I'd love to be over there, but it feels like there's hardly any tickets for away fans. I think it's a small stadium, but loads of people have got over, and it's all planes, trains, and automobiles, and people getting trains in from Berlin and all that kind of stuff. And flights to Prague went really expensive, so people are flying all around Europe and getting trains. So, and over here, just for context, I know it's only the first leg of a qualifier, but honestly, it feels like a World Cup final. Like I had the huge pleasure, in inverted commas, of going to a tile shop earlier this morning, and that was now, to be fair, in my defence, it means I'm allowed to go to the pub later. So
okay.
But and we were going around. There's lads in the forklifts driving around. They're all blaring like we're all part of Jackie's army and put them under pressure and all this kind of stuff. Everyone's wearing jerseys. It's like, honestly, it's really caught the imagination. Paddy whackery everywhere. It's brilliant.
Is it disrespectful to dress up as the child of Prague? Is that one of the things that anyone does?
No, I don't. Look, I don't think so, because I actually don't think it's maybe it is religious. It's not like a picture of Jesus or something. Do you know what I mean? I think the bobblehead is fine.
Okay.
Well, it does say the statue depicts a young Jesus with a royal crown and robes. So it has to do with Jesus.
Sorry about that.
Don't be doing your research.
Sorry,
Paddy,
Jesus.
It doesn't look like him, does it? It's a young Jesus.
He's no beard or anything.
We don't know what young Jesus looked like. Is the thing.
Exactly.
No, that's true.
There are no photos.
And he probably wasn't wearing a Paddy Power top holding a football.
Jesus youth team.
He wasn't. He almost certainly wasn't. So what? I mean, what do the odds say, Paddy?
This is a good reboot.
Yeah.
Young Judas.
Yeah, well,
Peter Young Paul.
I think we'll leave it there. I think we'll leave it there, Charlie.
Yeah, exactly.
First supper.
Let's get the odds. Yeah.
So the odds for the match, anyway, to qualify is the most important thing, obviously, and it goes to extra time penalties and all that kind of stuff tonight. It's 4-9 Czechia, and it's 17-10 Ireland. So we're outsiders for the game, but for the 90 minutes, it's 10-11 Czechia, 23-10 the draw, and 3-1 Ireland. So we obviously have a squeak, but it's just the belief after the last round of matches where we beat Portugal and Hungary, and Troy Parrott scored the hat-trick against Hungary, and the last-minute goal, he barely tapped it in the corner. I don't know if you lads saw it. It's such a big deal over here. Every message you're getting today is just replays of that, and it's just so cool because we haven't been even close for so long. And I know this is only the first leg of it, and we get this, we have to play next Tuesday again, but it feels like if we can get over the line today, just the momentum is there, and it'd be just amazing to qualify. And you know what? And if we don't qualify, we can always do a lasher. We didn't want to go to America anyway,
It'll be hot.
Yes, it will be. Well, I mean, last time they were in America, Ray Houghton's goal against Italy. It's a lot of happy memories and stuff.
Remember it well?
Yeah. So, if we're watching some of the TV coverage, you may see a few. I take it your team have gone out there to hand.
And having the crack.
Fantastic. Well, Paddy, enjoy the game
Cheers,
tonight.
Paddy.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, lads. Good luck.
Thank you. There's Paddy Power there for all the latest offers and to find out more about how you can koi bigger. Go to paddypower.com, 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Paddy Power on talkSPORT. Check out Paddy's latest offers on the Paddy Power app or at paddypower.com. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Natalie Sawyer, Mickey Gray, Kevin Hatchard are with you tonight on kickoff. They'll be right across all the goals as they go in, all the build-up to the games, quarter-weight kickoffs for all those playoffs. We're going to chat to Rod Woodward, the Welsh comedian, big Wales fan, who sadly can't be there tonight, and he'll be telling us why. But Jack Savoretti's up next. He's got new music out, new single, new album. He's touring, got some big gigs, Albert Hall amongst them. And, of course, he is a fan of Italian football and a Genoa fan. So we're going to have a chat with him about Italy, Northern Ireland, and the importance of Italy getting there. I mean, because they've missed 2 World Cups, which is just incredible. No team that's won it has ever missed 3 tournaments in a row. That is something. So anyway, I'm sure let's find out. We'll have a chat with Jack in a few moments' time. We're here with Toolstation. Get your home spring ready with great deals on top paint brands like Dulux, Crown and Leyland. Next stop, Toolstation.
Spurs. You're supposed to win. Jamie O'Hara, ticking. Can you? Oh my God, what's going on? Hold on. Oh my God. Can you be ticking? You're supposed to win. Of a beating. Can you be encouraging signs? Signs. Can you be signs? You're supposed to win a beating Beavertown Brewery. 3 point lane. I hope you favour. The Sainsbury's Stadium. The big cockerel. Can you be cockerel? You're supposed to win a beating to Darius Defoe. Help me out. Spurs. You're supposed to win a beating. Has anyone seen the Gunners? Mike Keown. Can you be Keown? You're going to win a beating Kemper. Matt Lucas MP. Equal for the forever. Gunnosaurus. Kemper. Arteta's light bulb. Can you be light bulb? You're going to win a little beat with the dog. What's up to him? Is he still alive? Can you be Arsenal? You're going to win it.
You are useless. Honestly, you're a shambles for a man. What a weekend of football. Spurs. Oh my word. What on earth happened? What is going on at this football club? We're going down. Spurs are going down. Chelsea disrespected the ball again. What's happening to them? They're in shambles. Arsenal, they bottled it in the League Cup final. Does Arteta need to take the blame for starting Kepa in goal?
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee, Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. That is Jack Savoretti, his new single from his ninth studio album, which is coming out next month. We Will Always Be the Way We Were.
Yeah.
Jack, of course, is Anglo-Italian. He's a Genoa fan, and he'll be keeping a very close eye on Italy's game tonight against Northern Ireland in Bergamo. And he joins us now. Good afternoon, Jack.
Hi, guys. I'm going to be keeping a lot more than a close eye.
It can't happen again. It's hard to believe that Italy are in their third playoff. I mean, talk about make hard work of it for such a big footballing nation.
You know, it's true. I'm 42 years old, and like growing up as an Italian fan, because you inherit your national team, you don't really choose it. And my father was Italian, so with Italia 1990, I was immediately azzurro. And we grew up. You always grew up suffering, struggling. Like there was never the conviction as an Italian fan. You're never a conviction. You never celebrate before the game. You're always convinced that you're going to go into every game kind of struggling. But then Italy pulls off the miracles that we all know, historically speaking, we've done. These last few years, though, My son is 11 years old and he's never really witnessed Italy. He's never witnessed Italy in a World Cup. He's witnessed Italy. He's witnessed them win a European Cup, which was pretty unique, but he hasn't seen them play in a World Cup. And that's heartbreaking. And there isn't that same, we used to have this kind of get out of, like we'd somehow always get out of it. But looking at the squad today, I think from midfield down to defense, I believe in them. I'm struggling to believe in our forward strength, our attacking strength, but who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, there's a few missing, but you've got Gattuso, who's made a good start, and he is quite the carrier. But I mean, you can almost keep a camera on him on the touchline tonight.
I agree.
Fascinating.
Also, I like what he's built with Gigi, with Buffon and Bonucci. They've done a little bit like the Mancini and Vialli relationship, where they're trying to. I mean, Italy's strength has always been the group. You know, there's a lot of talk of this in Italy right now. Everyone is saying we need to refine the group. The last 2 World Cups, there was no identity to the national team. After Mancini, after the European, even Mancini, that whole sort of, it just seemed to disintegrate. And I think the Italian Federation in general has a lot to answer for when it comes to that. But they're starting to try and bring back that sense of family, even in the Euros. You know, that was not a very strong Italian team, if we're honest, but they had a very strong sense of group. And I think this is something that they're going to have to dig deep and start rebuilding, because the talent is not where it used to be. So the only thing that's going to get us through is going to be unity and playing like a group. So let's hopefully tonight we see a little bit more.
You sound a bit nervous, Jack.
Yeah, I'm struggling to find sympathy with you saying about the Euros and winning the Euros, and that wasn't a very good team. You know, I'm struggling.
No, but England was stronger. But England was a stronger
you're right.
squad.
We should have won that.
It was a much stronger squad, to be real. Like I'm grateful. But it was Italy's squad was, you know, it wasn't something that we will be writing about.
Well, they were aging as well, weren't they? And that was the problem.
Totally.
Maybe that's been the problem. They let those players get just that bit too old for the churn to happen.
100%. They sort of missed a bit of a generation. I mean, look, there were some results coming in yesterday. I don't know if you guys follow the under-17s, under-19s, and under-18s, but the young Italian, the youth squads are doing amazingly right now. So hopefully there is hope in the future. But I think we might have missed a bit of a generation. I think with the changes and the weakness of the Serie A too, I think there's a lot of things that need to be addressed when it comes to Italian football, not just the national team.
Your club, Genoa, I mean, look, they could get sucked in. A couple of bad results, they could be in the madhouse, but, you know, they only need maybe a couple more wins and they'll be safe. The derby, though, of course, no longer is. You can't play Samp, can you? Because they're struggling in Serie B at the moment, which is a great
But they're looking likely to go down to Serie C, I think.
Yeah.
Even. I mean, Sampdoria has been a catastrophe, disaster, which I find heartbreaking. And I know it's a derby, but it's the oldest derby in Italy. And it's just also, it was kind of our only game of the season. You know, when you're sort of a mid-table, struggling to survive club every year, the derby is your final. You know what I mean? It's like, it's the pride of the city really depends on the derby. So to not have that is a shame. I will say, though, having De Rossi come in, I loved Patrick Vieira being in charge of the team. I actually went to go see the guys train and hang out with him, and it was incredible. But that had run its course. And I think De Rossi now taking over has brought in an incredible... I mean, we've had some amazing results, including beating Rome, De Rossi's old club, which was pretty epic about 2 weekends ago. So I'm hoping that we should be okay, but... Yeah, the Italian league isn't what it used to be, but which is why we're seeing this difficulty just finding Italian strikers. I mean, so it's an interesting time right now. But I have hope for Genoa. I'm still very hopeful.
Let's talk about the music. Is that right? 20 years since your debut album.
I know, crazy, yeah. That's the last time Italy was in a World Cup.
Oh, yeah.
It was actually 2006. I think it was the same year we won the World Cup. So that's kind of how I'm referencing it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you always play as a kid, Jack? Is that how it happened for you? Were you in bands at school? What was your way in?
No, I came to it quite late but I wanted to be a football player. I actually, until I was about 14, I played football pretty seriously. And then I got distracted and discipline went out the window. Parents getting divorced and falling in love for the first time and all this kind of stuff really kind of took me away from the pitch. And I discovered poetry and music as a substitute. Yeah. And that kind of got me through it. And it ended up being the stronger hand.
You're playing some big rooms on the tour. You got a big 28-day UK and European tour, including the Royal Albert Hall.
Oh, yeah, lovely.
Yeah, I mean, the most majestic of venues. So that I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be on the 23rd of April. And yeah, that's kind of kicking off the whole campaign. The album comes out in 2 weeks on the 10th. And so we're playing it like literally almost pretty much the week after the album comes out. So hopefully it's going to be strange playing the show to people that have only just heard the music sort of for the first time at the show. But we're looking forward to it, and then it's going to be an interesting year ahead, I hope.
I suppose it's balancing the set, isn't it? Because people are going to want to hear the hits, and they're going to want to hear the songs they love, but you want to play the new stuff, and you're looking forward to playing the new stuff.
Yeah, I went to see Arcade Fire, and I love the way they did it, and I kind of stole a feather from their book, where they basically did the first half of the show. They played the entirety of the new album. Then there was an interval, which I think is very grown up. So we're going to try and do that. And then you come back after the interval, after having a few drinks, and we're going to play all the old friends. Yeah, the almost hits.
They can have a sing. They can have a sing along then when they're well oiled. They can have a sing.
The venue like that because they can sell a few more drinks as well, don't they?
Yeah, exactly.
It's always good.
It's good business.
Yeah. So the single's out now, and the album out 10th of April, Jack.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is.
And do you want to...
No, after you, please.
I was just going to say, I was going to briefly turn to the football and ask for a scoreline tonight. I don't know if that's going to put you on the spot.
I'm not going to do that because I'm Italian and superstitious. But I hope that I just hope that it's a great game where we see. I mean, I know Northern Ireland. I thought O'Neill's comments today might have set a little bit of a fire under the Italian team. I don't think that. I think he might have been a bit clumsy, saying that he's not afraid because there's no more Totti and no more Del Piero. I think that's probably the worst thing you could say to the Italian team right now. So I'm hoping that we prove that we've got some new talent with Tonali and Barella and Calafiori doing some magic.
Del Piero dreams he was Jamie Reid.
Yeah. Brilliant. All the best, Jack. Good to talk to you.
Thank
Thanks
you,
very much.
guys.
Jack.
Grazie. Thank you for having me. Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Jack's new single, You're Calling, is out now. And chat to Rod Woodward a little bit later on, a comedian and Wales fan. You can check out the talkSPORT Daily at the moment. The Spurs inquest, too good to go down. I think we're going to have the answer to that. Rashmin Chowdhury, Tottenham fan, joined by former Spurs goalkeeper Brad Friedel, and football writer Jack Pitt-Brooke, Jack from The Athletic, of course, and the View from the Lane podcast. They're going to unpack Tottenham's on-pitch failings. Blimey, it must be a long podcast. Off-pitch chaos.
Smelly podcast.
And what relegation would really mean for a club this big. You don't think so?
You're not going down.
Where's this confidence coming from?
You're not going down.
Well, it depends what goes on over the next week or so. Anyway, if you want to hear more, you want to put yourself through it, Tottenham fans, beat yourself on the back with birch twigs. The talkSPORT Daily is available on all. It's actually cathartic to listen to podcasts about how bad we are at the moment. I listen to more now than I did when we were any good. If you want to hear more,
we are that bad. Oh no!
The talkSPORT Daily is available on all podcast platforms now. Still to come. Tim Vickery joins us. We'll find out a bit more about the Uruguay team that will take on England tomorrow night. Brazil play France, don't they, over in the States in friendly? So we'll get the latest from Tim on that. And as we said, Rod Woodward, Wales fan, comedian, who sadly can't be at the game tonight, and he'll tell us why. We'll be previewing the match against Bosnia-Herzegovina, which has had a bit of a weird build-up with all this Steve Cooper stuff. But more on that in a moment.
It's understood that Chelsea do not plan to review Rosenior's performance formally before the summer of 2027. They have no intention of making a change at the end of the season. Chelsea view this summer as being critical in terms of recruitment, The club's desperate to improve the mental resilience of the squad and provide Rosinha with a better balance of options. Chelsea will look to sign at least one new central defender, and they want to sign a midfielder, or add a midfielder and a forward as well. We know all that, Danny, but we also know a run of one win in the last 6 Premier League games. Many Chelsea fans are far from happy about the way things are going. So, Simon, Danny, I mean, no Champions League, no problem for Liam Rosinha, it seems. Should we believe it?
No, I struggle to believe that wholeheartedly. I think no Champions League for Chelsea would be a failure for them, especially if there's 5 places. And I think that the fans will become very disgruntled if that's the case. I do feel like whoever was in there, whoever was put in there, would face similar problems. If you look at what we've talked about many times, the squad being so young, you see the amount of sendings off they have, the ill discipline, the extremes of performance, brilliant one week, poor the next. That's hard for anyone to go in there and get better consistency with the dynamic of the squad.
Knuckleball free kicks. They used to be all the rage, but when was the last time you saw someone score with one? We're going to take a look at why we're not really seeing them anymore, and also explain a bit more about how they work. The knuckleball peaked in the 2010s, probably because that Ronaldo strike in 2008 inspired academy players everywhere. Here's a young Mason Mount.
I tried to base my free kick on Ronaldo, hit the ball by the valve, and it moves. So what do? Top corner, top bins.
The name knuckleball comes from a baseball pitch held with the knuckles rather than the fingertips, which doesn't spin as it travels. Now, no ball is a perfect sphere, so as it travels, it creates ever-changing pockets of turbulent air, causing that unpredictable movement. Brazilian free-kick specialist Juninho Pernambucano wasn't the first player to do it, but he did perfect it, scoring 77 free kicks over his career, more than anyone else. He was inspired by 90s midfielder Marcelinho Carioca and a guy called Didi, who was hitting knuckleballs in the 50s and 60s. Brazilians call it the dry leaf, because the ball looks like a leaf that gets blown around in the wind this way and that. So how do you do it? The key point is to hit the ball head on, usually with a straighter run-up. It's a punch-like shot and, crucially, as short a contact time as possible so the ball doesn't spin. Some people think players hit the valve to affect the air inside the ball. That's not the reason. It's because the part of the ball around the valve is more rigid, helping to shorten that contact time. Remember the David Luiz beauty against Colombia in the 2014 World Cup? We don't really see knuckleballs anymore. Why? Because players are being told not to shoot from dead ball situations because the XG is so low. In fact, as Opta shows here, since the 08-09 season, there's been a 10% reduction in players shooting from free kicks in the Premier League. In 23-24, a record low of 11 free kicks found the back of the net. And the knuckleball, by its very nature, is imprecise, which is why it's becoming a thing of the past.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee, Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. We got a birthday spread for you this afternoon. That's coming up at 3:30.
The Whiskey Don's been in touch, Paul. They didn't have podcasts in the days when Spurs were good, he says. Said you like listening to them now, they're not very good, but he said that's him.
We're finishing.
That's not me saying that.
Second, third and fourth in the Premier League. It wasn't that long ago and getting the Champions League.
There we are.
Finally.
Okay, so there we are, Whiskey.
Things can change quickly in football. Let that be a lesson to us all. Certainly our board, who were complacent in the extreme. Anyway, let's not carp on about that.
Why not?
So let's hear from Craig Bellamy. They've got a massive game tonight, Wales against Bosnia-Herzegovina in Cardiff. And ahead of the game, Craig Bellamy was asked how his side are going to approach the match.
What do you think's happening tomorrow? We're going all out. Guys, we're going all out. We ain't sitting back. Now, you might look at me after the game. Maybe I need to change. Then we'll deal with that question then. But this is us. This is who I am. This is what my coaching staff are. This is what the players are. So, why not? Why not? And if it fails, I can sleep. There
we are.
A corner
from a manager, actually, sometimes.
No, he is. I think he's done an amazing job, and I do strongly fancy him tonight. But anyway, let's get the thoughts now of a man who follows Wales over land and sea, but can't be there tonight, sadly, because he's on his way to Liverpool. It's comedian Rod Woodward. Good afternoon, Rod.
Hello, Rod.
How are you guys?
Good, thank you, mate.
We're not so bad. You've got a gig, a long-standing gig that's that
I have.
A
nightmare having to make a living.
You won't be there this evening.
I dropped the clanger, to be honest, guys. I've just arrived now. I'm in the Titanic Hotel, ready for an event up at Anfield tomorrow. But it was quite a strange one because my wife's not very happy. I'm getting a lot of grief from her. I'm actually speaking at the Chartered Institute of Building Services Engineers tomorrow, so that's going to be an end-to-end thriller as it is. Yeah. And not only is that stopping her going to the game tonight, but we had a bit of a sort of a disagreement over it when I was doing a bit of due diligence, as you do, a bit of homework, finding out about the industry and the organisation the other day. And I was engrossed in the SIBC website, which is a massive article on the history of extractors and ventilators. And she walked in and said, "What are you looking at?" And I said, "Only fans." And she hasn't told me since.
Very nice. Open with that, Rod.
I got an opener there.
Charlie does these corporate nights as well. I suppose
I'll be writing that one down for the next time I do it.
It's probably finding the funny in farm machinery and stuff like that, isn't it? Is it difficult, Rod, or have you been doing it for such a long time now you can find the funny in anything?
Well, I wouldn't say that so much, but yeah, certainly some of these industries do lend themselves more to a little laugh than others.
Yeah.
Staying in the Titanic Hotel, that's not a good omen.
I know. I mean, they're very exactly. They're very proud of this in Liverpool, as they are in Belfast. I wonder if they know whatever happened to it.
Yes. No, don't tell them. Don't tell them, Pike. Yeah, that's right. It looks.
Well, it was fine when it left us.
I've been to the one in Belfast. I've not been to one in Liverpool, but
this is nice.
It looks lovely.
It's got a bar. It's got a bar in the room, only in Liverpool, right in the room there.
And they don't do ice in the drinks, though, do they? It's a shame.
Oh, Charlie.
Love it, Charlie.
Too soon?
I'm on the tee.
Yeah. No, it looks nice. I'll pop in when I'm next there. It looks good.
You'll get a warm welcome.
So let's turn to the football then. I mean, the way that just hearing Craig Bellamy then, if you're one of his players, you've got to get a lift from that, knowing the managers say, go out and play your game, trying to take the pressure off them. So like, all the pressure's on me. I'm sitting here saying this stuff. So it's down to me if we don't win.
That's exactly the sort of response I would have expected from him. That is as typical Bellamy as I think you'll ever hear, and I think that puts the players in a great frame of mind. We know how attacking they are, and if they can create anything like they did in the last game, where it was, I think, by his own account, an almost perfect performance against North Macedonia, who weren't really shipping many goals. It was something special. So I think they'll be fearing us. I mean, we've never beaten Bosnia before. I think we've drawn 2 and lost 2. But if they can turn out anything like that, I think we'll go through comfortably tonight.
You've got a couple of very informed players in Ampadu, and especially Harry Wilson, who's Wales have often had talisman, obviously Bale, and I'm not pretending he's Bale, but he's in good form, and he'll be a bit of a go-to player.
A whole season as well, isn't he? Really, really good form all season.
Absolutely. He's definitely one of the informed players in the Premier League. And, I think you're quite right. We're going to need a sort of a Bale-style performance from him, and he's starting to get tagged. I read a report yesterday that said he's even starting to look a little bit like Gareth Bale with the Alex band and that. So, yeah, I think he enjoys that comparison. And, look, Bale scored, 3 goals in the 2 qualifiers last time for us to get to Qatar. So we're going to need those big players like Wilson and, Johnson and Brooks all to perform. But, yeah, I think the stage is set. And as always, the crowd will be a 12th man, guys.
Yeah, the atmosphere should be cracking tonight, shouldn't it?
Absolutely,
Yeah, and look, you're going to have to go again next week. That's the nature of this format, which is quite exciting. Rather than it being 2 legs, because you get a cagey first leg. It's all or nothing tonight.
Go at it tonight.
Be decided this evening. Next week, much the same. That's just the final. So there is something about it that's quite exciting and quite compelling.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the prospect of you would expect Italy, but you never know. Northern Ireland might just turn it on. Italy are not the Italy of old, but they find a way, don't they? These teams with that kind of pedigree, and I would expect that probably we'll be playing them if we're lucky. But it'd be lovely to face Northern Ireland in Cardiff.
If Wales make it, Rod, will you make your way to where would they be? The US, or are they playing in Canada or Mexico? I don't know where they're.
I'm not sure where they'll go into one. Depends what group they go into.
Groups they go. Would you make your way over there, Rod?
Have you dared?
Definitely get out there, Charlie. Yeah. Definitely, I'd go out there and take a bit of that in. I think I'm saying to Paul last time round that I almost do it as a kind of a pilgrimage to the old man now, because my father was a bit of a jinx for Wales. He was a soccer writer for years and years and never saw him qualify for a major tournament. And then it's all happened since he's gone. So I feel like I've got to go.
Got his hand there, yeah. Now, they've got heating engineers and everything in America. Rod, you do some work over there.
Go and do some...
Get some gigs. They love that OnlyFans joke over there.
Yeah,
they love it out there. I'll smash it with that, yeah.
So you're on... What time are you on tonight? Because...
It's tomorrow, so but it took me 5 hours to get here, so I just knew that I wouldn't be there in time for the old tech check in the morning, so I thought I'd better take one. Plug into the Wi-Fi here.
I think it's on the B, but it'll probably be on in the bar, Rod.
Rod. I know you like to feel dodgy, but I think you're allowed to just watch it.
Oh, really? God, you can tell I'm from Wales.
Yeah. You'll be able to find 1,001 pubs in Liverpool that'll be showing the match. So don't sit there on your own with your fire stick in the Titanic Hotel. That's a bad omen.
They'll all have the.
And don't have a.
They all have the island game.
Just point out, don't have a fire stick.
No.
Well, I mean, have a normal one.
The follow-up.
I'm not putting you off of the
Prodigy's follow-up single, was it?
What was that?
Don't have a fire stick.
Dead Twisted Fire Stick. That's it.
You're on fire, Charlie. You're on fire, mate.
Well, Rod, enjoy the game. Let's hope you can get the result. Fingers crossed. And what, you busy apart from this? You busy at the minute?
Sounds it.
Yeah, I am actually. I had a sort of quite a big spinal operation not so long back, so I took everything on. I'm doing club gigs all over the shop and getting back to match fitness, and I think I'm all but there. But enjoying everything I'm doing. So
be well, Rod. Be well, mate.
Yeah, look up.
God bless you, mate.
We'll catch up with you soon. Thanks very much, Rod.
Look forward to it. Always a pleasure. Cheers.
There we are. That's Rod Woodward, the comedian and compere. Of course, he's got a gig, and he'll be. Yeah. Any any Wales fans in Liverpool know where the game's definitely on. Let us know, and we'll pass it on. It'll be on everywhere.
They might all go Rod's hotel room.
Well, big Irish.
He's got the
big Irish contingent in Liverpool. Yeah. Some pubs will be showing the Republic game. Some of the pubs will be showing Northern Ireland game, I'm sure. But anyway, enjoy wherever you're watching. We'll keep you in touch with all of it with Natalie Sawyer, Mickey Gray, and Kevin Hatchard this evening. Now, our latest competition has landed, and talkSPORT are giving you the chance to bag £20,000. Spectacular. Completely tax-free. Head to talksport.com/win now to enter. So we got some big South American friendlies going on. France playing Brazil, of course, and England playing Uruguay tomorrow evening. Tim Vickery is going to join us. We'll be chatting about that and more with our South American correspondent very shortly. We're here with our good friends at Toolstation. You can get your Toolstation essentials this spring with big savings on screws and fixings. Next stop, Toolstation.
Salah will leave Liverpool on a free this summer. Here's a crazy stat for you. Mo Salah either scored or assisted 37% of the goals Liverpool scored in the last 9 seasons.
Yeah, he's, and I think it was Hugh Wisencroft that said there that the awakening of Liverpool was down to Klopp and Salah. Those two worked in such sync. Klopp made Salah the player that he is, or allowed him to be the player that he is.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at someone in North London who, I'm not comparing Saka to Salah, but if you put that Saka into a Klopp's team, you would see. So Salah's got more goals and assists than Saka.
What you're saying is Arteta's holding back Saka?
Oh, 100%. Liverpool fans, Arsenal fans know that. 100%. That's not up for debate, is it? I'm not opening up a debate here. I'm just stating the fact that Mo Salah's got more goals and assists this season in all comps than Saka.
Mm.
Now, if Klopp had Saka at the time that he was going through that brilliant time at Liverpool, you'd see a totally different Saka. Arteta's getting a different role out of him. There's no way Mohamed Salah would not be the player he is if he played under Arteta. Don't even go there with me.
Okay.
Don't have that argument because I'll fall out with you.
Okay, but I don't think Saka can do what Salah's done.
Well, no. But what I'm trying to get at is that Saka is being held back and doing a job in a different way in the same position.
Mm.
Now, the latest episode of How to Win the World Cup is now live. Matt Ford and Alex Brooker speak to the former England skipper Stuart Pearce all about defenders ahead of this World Cup. Here's Stuart and how he turned his hand to football after being rejected for a role in the police.
You had to be 5'8" to join the police. So I went for an interview for the army and the police. And I remember sort of standing on tiptoes to make 5'8" as a kid at 16.
And were you allowed to ride the roller coaster?
Only with a run-up to get over the height. Practice my heading.
I didn't know there was a height limit for the police.
5'8" it was, yeah.
Is that still the case?
No, because I don't think it is now, because I ain't got too many takers to go in. But it was 5'8" in the 70s when I went to attempt to join.
But thank God for that height limit. Otherwise, we'd have been deprived of the football career of Stuart Pearce.
Yeah. And I failed the interview, so I had a skinhead haircut as well. So it wasn't just that. So I happened to pass the height situation. It was all those other personal traits that I fell down on.
And if the police in like the 80s are saying sorry.
So, yeah, too violent.
Wow, I never knew that. Stuart,
yeah.
PC Pearce.
I've read his autobiography. It's very, very good. Stuart's autobiography. He's in court twice. I think in one day.
Right.
At one point in it.
Okay. Well, that wouldn't have helped his application
No,
either,
not for the
would it?
police. No.
Anyway, you can listen to How to Win the World Cup with Stu and other fine guests on previous shows wherever you get your podcast. Go and check it out on the talkSPORT app, where all the content is, of course. But now it's time for this. Plenty to talk about from a South American point of view, kicking off with Uruguay in London tomorrow night. Tim Vickery joins us once again from Rio. Hi, Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Very good afternoon to you, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Yeah, we're not so bad.
Nice to speak to you.
Good.
So what can we expect from Uruguay tomorrow? What kind of team are they bringing over? There'll be a few familiar faces to Premier League fans, won't there?
Yeah, you'll be seeing them all again in the old familiar places. They'll have to be, I think, at full strength. Have to be at full strength. I can't see any room for experimentation at all, which means Darwin Núñez up front. It means Valverde and Ugarte as part of a midfield trio in a 4-3-3. It means Ronald Araujo of Barcelona at the back. Looking at these players, when he took over Bielsa, he took over after the last World Cup, you thought this could work. Uruguay were needing a generational change, and you can see a spine there of the type of players who could play the Bielsa way. And it started off brilliantly, really, really well. I mean, they beat Argentina in Buenos Aires. They beat Brazil more easily than they've beaten Brazil for years and years and years. They started off the Copa America in the States 2 years ago like a train, and then it all came off the track. And it had a great deal to do with the fact that the players had to spend a full month for the Copa America in the company of Marcelo Bielsa. And they decided that they hated him. We know this because of Luis Suarez, who shortly afterwards retired from international football. And he called a press conference when he let rip. He said, he's horrible, this Bielsa fella. You walk past him in a corridor, he won't acknowledge you. He's destroyed the atmosphere that we have in the team. Lots of players there don't want to play for him. No one from inside the dressing room came out to say, no, he's got it wrong.
Wow.
So there were clearly problems there, and they've had crisis meetings and so on. But subsequently, results have been very bad. In the last 12 rounds of World Cup qualification, 8 times they failed to score. And they're not even creating. It's a Bielsa team. They're set up to create. And the last time round, against his old protege, Mauricio Pochettino, Uruguay played in November. They played an understrength United States side, and they lost 5-1. It was just dreadful. After which, a couple of days later, Bielsa gave a press conference when he spent 2 hours talking about his favourite subject, attacking himself. He just spent 2 hours saying, I'm a dreadful person. I make everyone around me worse. If we all go out for a meal together, I'll take a newspaper so I don't have to talk to any of you.
Wow, yeah.
But I'm not quitting. I believe that we can do something with these players. And so this is the next game. This is a really high-risk game. I remember being at Wembley 1990 for the England-Uruguay before the World Cup that year. And that was gentle, wet, nice exercise in the May sunshine, friendly schmendly. This isn't, because all the indications are, if they get another shellacking tomorrow night, Uruguay will change their coach with less than 80 days to go until the World Cup. So this really is high stakes. So we will find out tomorrow if these Uruguay players really want to play for Bielsa.
We've got Brazil v France this evening, a game I would normally watch, but I'll keep an eye on it. But Wales, of course, will be my main focus. A really sort of high-level fixture for the pair of them going into the tournament, being played in the States.
Yeah, although you kind of get the idea, this is the only time that European opponents were available to play the South Americans, because your World Cup qualification started late. Yeah. And there's a feeling, that a lot of sides would rather do without these games. It's a little bit too much. So what Ancelotti looks like he's going to do, he's got quite a few out, including his entire defensive unit. The goalkeeper, Alisson, right back, I think it's going to be Eder Militão of Real Madrid. The centre-back partnership is Marquinhos and Gabriel Magalhães, and the left-back is probably Alexandro. They're all out injured. So he's throwing in quite a few who he's called up for the first time to play in the defence. Now, he won't mind too much if it goes wrong. And he did this before. He did this last year against Japan. He threw in a reserve defence and they collapsed. And that kind of, friendly, I don't really care about the result. And it just means there's a few names there that I can rub out, And so, all right, it's an opportunity is knocking for some of these reserve defenders. But if it all goes wrong, Ancelotti will raise an eyebrow, shrug his shoulders and say, well, it just made it easier for me to call up because there's one or two names there that I can forget about.
And Argentina, they've gone down. They're playing Mauritania and Zambia as their two friendlies, Tim.
This really is a lesson in how to prepare to do something that no one has ever done before. No one has ever retained the World Cup in a different continent. Argentina were going to be playing Spain in that finalissima, champions of Europe, champions of South America. It was in Qatar. It had to be called off. Argentina didn't want to play it anyway. They didn't want to put their prestige as world champions online. So there were negotiations to try and get it played elsewhere, in which Argentina basically made the thing so difficult that it all had to be called off. So what were they going to do then? They got no opponents. And remember, since they've qualified for the World Cup, their friendly opponents have been Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Angola. So, all right, well, we'll get everyone back to Buenos Aires. They can spend time with their families and so on. We can spend time on a training ground, but we need a game. And wouldn't it be nice to have River Plate Stadium, which is the biggest capacity stadium in South America, available just to make some coin? Problem. AC/DC are playing gigs in River Plate Stadium. They can't have it. Right. So they've got to go to Boca Stadium, which is about half the capacity. Now, they fixed up a game against Guatemala, but Guatemala are playing a FIFA friendly in another continent, and the rules won't allow you to play on two different continents in the same FIFA date. So the Guatemala game got scrapped. So Argentina were just, well, who are we going to get then? Who can come on down at this short notice? So they have Mauritania tomorrow and Zambia on Tuesday, meaning that their preparation to defend their crown, to do something which has never been done before, is in total Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Angola, Mauritania, Zambia.
Wow. Where is Mauritania? I thought that was the country they go to
they were in
bang bang.
Group B of the World Cup qualifying in Africa. They finished fifth in the group, in Senegal's group, with 7 points. So it's hard to believe that Christian Romero was so desperate to go off and play against Mauritania, but I suppose it's... I think he'd struggle getting the Mauritania team at the moment, if you ask me. But anyway, just very quickly on Bolivia, because it's not just playoffs in Europe. Bolivia in playoff action as well, and they've not been in the World Cup for a long time, since it was last in the States.
Exactly, 1994. They got two hurdles to overcome. They play Suriname tonight in Mexico, one of these intercontinental playoffs. They get through Suriname, and they are favourites, I think, to get through Suriname. They will then play Iraq on Tuesday. Now, this game was in doubt for a while because Iraq was saying, we can't get there. We can't. How can we get there? Iraq have managed to get a team together and go off. So whoever wins out of Bolivia and Suriname will play Iraq on Tuesday night. And I think that'll be the last place. We will know then all 48.
Fantastic. Tim, we'll catch up with you next week. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Look forward to it. Cheers.
Tim Vickers, our man on South American football. And we'll keep an eye on all the scores, all the goals as they go in for you with Natalie Sawyer, Mickey Gray, Kevin Hatchard tonight on those games involving Italy, Northern Ireland, Wales, Bosnia-Herzegovina, and the Czech Republic versus the Republic of Ireland. But we have a contest of our own next.
Oh, yeah.
Charlie and I go head-to-head. Andy Jacobs and Jeff Peters join us for the birthday
Still
spread.
Playing that. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Think about it. The only person that's not going to lose anything out of this deal is Mo Salah. And when he signed a 2-year contract and got himself a new contract and got himself the highest paid and one of the highest paid players in the Premier League, it was because Liverpool managed to achieve probably on his behalf, a 2-year deal that they didn't particularly want. I think they wanted a 1-year deal. And when we heard Virgil van Dijk, the caller was talking about the commentary of Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah, what we heard was a load of old rubbish from Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah about how they'd heard nothing from the club, no one had spoken to them, no one had given them any indications, all that nonsense, because clearly agents would have been speaking to the club. What they hadn't heard at that time is, yes, you can have precisely what you want. That's what they hadn't heard at that particular time. So when we use that as part of the architecture of a conversation to justify people's behaviour...
Oh, I think you're right there. I don't think they did come out and say, I'm staying. They didn't. He's got it wrong. They actually did play the game.
Of course they did. So in this instance, when you look at Mo Salah has orchestrated a circumstance where he engineered a contract as a result of his previous worth, that Liverpool gave him enormous amounts of money. He hasn't turned up until his outburst. He then had an outburst that's orchestrated this outcome. And as a result of that outburst, if you follow the line dots and probably join them up, Liverpool are the ones that are going to lose out on a player that they've paid 400 grand a week for that has barely turned up this season, that has got a longer-term contract that was designed to protect their interests, which has done the polar opposite, and has got them out of a transfer fee. And the only person that will not be 1 single cent out of pocket in any shape or form, performance-wise or value-wise, is Mohamed Salah.
It's fair to say Ferrari have a track record of making some pretty gorgeous Formula One machinery. From classics to the modern age, there's only been a few exceptions to the rule. Here's a look at some of their greatest ever F1 cars. This is the iconic Ferrari 500, driven by Alberto Ascari in 1952, which helped him claim Ferrari's first driver's title. 4 years later, it was the Ferrari D50 that propelled Juan Manuel Fangio to the title. After being trounced by British teams at the back end of the 50s, Ferrari produced the 156 Sharknose for the 1961 season, and Phil Hill won the championship with that. It's fair to say Niki Lauda's title-winning 312T in 1975 was pretty iconic as well. Ferrari found little luck in the 80s and 90s, despite a beautiful collection of motors like Nigel Mansell's 640. I mean, come on, has there ever been a better-looking F1 car? When they built the Ferrari F1 2000 for Michael Schumacher, the glory days returned. That car was the blueprint for Ferrari's success over the next decade. In F1, there's simply nothing like the glory and the glamour of a beautiful Ferrari, which is why celebs can't help themselves. But they're not even the best-looking things in the garage. Can we have the Mansell one back, please? There we go. Just leave that there.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee. Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. Andy Goldstein, Darren Bent up at 4 with Drive. But it's time now for the birthday spread, a simple game in which Andy Jacobs, on a weekly basis, collects 10 birthdays, people who've celebrated their birthday this week. And it's our job, myself and Charlie, and indeed many of you at home, because we know you play along, or in the car, on the school run, etc., to see how you get on as well. Some will know, some we won't. A margin of error will build because we won't be spot on every time, and the one with the shortest margin of error in their guesses is the winner.
Sounds quite boring.
It does, but Andy makes it funny.
That's good.
Andy has a joke attached to each one. Good afternoon, Andy.
Yes, good afternoon, boys. Looking forward to it as ever.
Oh, yes. Nice to see you.
Let's head to Mexico now, live via satellite.
Wow.
It's like 1970 World Cup. and speak to Jeff Peters, our official scorer. Hello, Jeff.
Hello, everybody. Paul leads 8-0 this year.
Wow.
All
8-0? That can't be right. I've won one, surely.
No, you haven't.
No, it's 8-0 this year and 9 in a row for Paul.
Wow, what about that?
If I don't win this week, I'm not playing next week.
Is that it?
I'm saying it.
Okay, fair enough.
I can't believe Jeff hasn't got those waiters to do the scoring.
I know, yeah. Jeff,
Suns himself.
Jeff has been coerced the waiters in the hotel to wear sombreros, which I guess they don't do unless they're out of central casting generally, and shout things like Banbury cake and standard. They're very game, those fellas who work in your hotel there.
Tremendous.
How'd you talk them into it, Jeff?
Well, you bring out a fistful of dollars and anything happens.
Okay.
You say, do you want to hear a joke? And they go, no, we'll do anything.
Yeah, okay.
no, what's Spanish for no toppers?
Senor Toppers, they call him round the hotel.
Senor Toppers.
Lo siento, no me entiendo.
Let's play it to the ladies and gents. If you can hear it or if you can see it on connected TV. This is Jeff coercing the staff at his Mexican hotel to do birthday spread bits.
Charlie Bacon, standard, Banbury cake, Banbury cake, standard.
Poor lads.
It's a bit like when my nan would come round and my mum would go, do your tap dance.
Yeah. As we said earlier, they'd be spitting in Jeff's chimichanga, as Andy said. Yeah, that's true. So anyway, let's crack on, shall we? First birthday, I'll lead us off. Here's Pele and Sergio Mendes.
Okay, we get underway this week with a very happy birthday to the fine actor from EastEnders, Steve McFadden.
Oh,
Steve
yes.
McFadden. I've got some very exciting news, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Netflix have given Steve his own food and travel show. I can't wait to see somebody feed Phil Mitchell.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Somebody feed Phil Mitchell would be great, wouldn't it? Yeah. Is it really? I mean, he's been in it for such a long time. 61, I'm going to kick us off with. Do you think he's younger than that?
I don't know. He's older than that.
You think he's older than that?
I don't know, though. Who knows?
Yeah.
63.
67.
Wow.
Looking good, Phil.
That's a duff moment in itself, isn't it? 67.
He's just threatening to beat people up, isn't it?
That's very much the role, isn't it? So what's the scores, Jeff?
I'm very worried that he's going to get typecast. It's Paul 6 4.
Yeah, that's good, Jeff. That's genuine laugh.
6-4. Okay, we alternate. Charlie leads us off for this one. Here we go, Andy.
Okay, he's the fine Indian Test cricketer. His era was 1974 to 1986. Madan Lal. Lal.
Yeah.
And his stand-up comedy routines have become a viral hit on TikTok. They call him Madan Lol.
Yes. Beautiful.
I'm pleased you said his years.
This is a modern one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Isn't it modern? Very modern. You knew about TikTok, Andy. It was very good.
What do you think?
78.
I'll go 80.
75.
Oh, 175.
170. So, Jeff, where does that leave us scores-wise?
Paul, you're 5 out onto 11, and Charlie is 3 out onto 7.
Yeah.
Nice early
Thrashing
lead.
you, Paul. Thrashing you.
Early lead for Charlie. Don't forget to tell us how you're getting on during the half-time interval. So, on to birthday number 3, Andy.
Birthday number 3 is the actor and producer Reese Witherspoon.
Oh, yeah.
And I visited Reese last year at her dairy farm in Wisconsin. We had to be there at the crack of dawn to sample the day's first milking. I really enjoyed an early morning pint at Witherspoon's.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
Oh, very good.
Nice, yeah. We've got Reese who works here. He produces your show at the weekend, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he'll often come in with his cereal and a bowl. But
that's right. I did get a picture of him many years ago in the kitchen while he was making some tea, so I could have the caption Reese with a spoon. I've got a thing about that. We once did an interview on 90 Minutes with Bernie Slaven, and they went to his house to do it, and I said to the photographer, can we get a picture of him in his kitchen over so we could have Slaven over a hot stove?
Very nice.
And Bernie said, you really want me to do that? And he said, well, the editor would like you to. He said, yeah, all right. So he did it. Good old Bernie.
Well done, you should have got the Dutch tennis player Betty Stover involved.
I should have got, but that would have been a lot of money to get her over to Middlesbrough.
Just for that as well. Just for this, is it?
Flying Betty Stover for a picture caption to Middlesbrough. Anyway, birthday. What happened there? Sorry, Jeff. What's the scores?
It's like trying to take Betty Stover to Middlesbrough. Is that a phrase? I don't know. Is that?
Have we done number 3 yet? We guessed
No,
that.
you haven't.
guessing.
No, you haven't
Tim
guessed.
Witherspoon.
Oh,
Tim
yeah.
Witherspoon.
No, it's Reese Witherspoon. Reese Witherspoon. 52.
Who can forget?
52.
Reese Witherspoon.
She doesn't look
Frank
it.
Bruno.
She doesn't look it. Yeah. 52.
52. Reese Witherspoon. Yeah, very successful these days.
What do you reckon?
Well, she's always been pretty successful. I don't know why I said these.
Yeah. She wasn't on the bins, was she? Okay. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Oh, yeah, really struggling.
52. Taking
52
in washing.
you've got. 53. 53.
50.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, so what's the scores, Jeff?
Yeah, she's on Cameo now. I've got to shout in Banbury Cake.
Banbury Cake.
Yeah. So Paul is 2 out onto 13. Charlie 3 out onto 10. So,
Okay, yeah,
Charlie
yeah.
leads by 3 after 3.
Okay.
Birthday number 4 then in today's birthday spread.
The great Hollywood television actor William Shatner.
Oh,
William
yeah.
Shatner.
Mm.
And I
Steady
remember
now.
when Bill, as I call him, invited me to walk with him from his house in Malibu to Ringo's mansion at the top of Laurel Canyon. It was a real Star Trek.
Oh, okay.
very nice.
That's good, yeah.
Did Ringo live in Laurel Canyon, did he? That's nice.
No, I made it up.
Oh, Joni Mitchell lived in Laurel Canyon.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man.
Maybe they were neighbours.
They wrote the song.
that wouldn't have worked, would it?
House Graham from the Hollies.
Mitchell
Graham
Trek
Nash.
wouldn't
Graham
have worked.
Nash wrote
This is all off of something that never happened.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry. I was just trying to show
Okay.
my music knowledge.
So, shoehorn it in.
Yeah. Trevor Horn.
Except you couldn't remember Graham Nash's name.
Graham Nash.
Make him feel special.
It made
So,
the anecdote.
Slightly killed it. So, yeah.
Not exactly.
I'm getting a bit lost.
Bob Harris.
Whose birthday was it?
It's
William Shatner.
William Shatner. Careful.
Bill Shatner.
Now, 93.
That's what I was going to say. I'm not going to say. I'll say 94.
95.
Oh, still going, isn't he?
Amazing. He just did an advert for the Super Bowl, didn't he? He was eating cereal in his car.
Was he?
He was spotted doing it in real
With
life.
a spoon or not?
With a spoon,
Was
yeah.
she there as well, was she?
She was. Yeah.
And so one of the
They've got a birthday on the same day. So
one of the cereal companies said that's a good idea for a Super Bowl ad. And I think he got about $12 million. So there, but money goes to money, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Anyway,
Beam me up, Frosties. Was it something like that?
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
What's the scores, Jeff?
Paul 1 out onto 14, Charlie 2 out onto 12, and in unrelated news, 26th of May is Stevie Nicks' birthday.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. So one of Andy's old chestnuts, I guess.
Oh, okay. Good.
Let's not talk about Andy's old chestnuts.
Saw enough of them at Cheltenham.
Yeah, we did. So anyway, birthday number 5.
Bit more water in it next time, Andy.
Here we go.
No need for that. It's the fine musician, one of my favourites, George Benson.
Oh, yeah, George Benson.
George Benson. Oh.
And we were opposing captains in a star-studded Legends cricket match, and we both wanted Sir Viv Richards on our team.
Yeah.
But George said, "Give me the night."
Oh, very good. Give me the night.
All right. I saw George once on
Is
TV
it a joke?
being interviewed by
Oh, right.
it's actually
Okay,
true,
yeah, it's not another
by
joke.
Lorraine Kelly.
Yeah.
And for some reason he decided she was doing her show from Mallorca. It was one of those summer shows.
Yeah.
And George decided to wear a polo neck and a leather jacket. I was about 100.
Had a bit of a dab on, did he? George.
More than a dab.
Poor old sweaty George Benson.
Exactly.
Sweaty George Benson would be good on Stars in Their Eyes.
It would be tonight, Matthew. Anyway, I'd say George he's got to be 80. I'm going to go 80. What do you think?
George Ben, I think he's older than that.
Okay, all right then.
85.
83.
Give me the night. Give me the night.
Give me the
night nurse. Yeah, give me the
I
night.
did see him at the Albert Hall. He was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, he's very good.
Except whenever he did his new stuff, everybody just the whole room died. And then when he did his old
You
stuff,
old jazzers, you want the original stuff.
Have you ever seen the
You all
video?
right, Charlie?
Yeah. Have you ever seen the video of him and he's skating, playing the guitar?
Skating?
Yeah, he's skating. Skating and roller skating and playing guitar at the same time.
It wasn't CGI, was it?
No, it's real. It's very cool.
What about
It's very
that?
good. Yeah.
What's the scores, Jeff?
Might even be for Give Me the Night.
Okay, nice.
Was he on CGI Friday?
I think he must.
So
Your
Paul-
Mars.
Yeah, go on then.
Paul, your Mars.
You want to enjoy
3
Friday?
out onto 17.
Yeah.
Charlie, 2 out onto 14. Charlie leads by 3 at the halfway stage.
Brilliant, thank you, Jeff.
Good,
Do let us know how you're getting on at half-time. talksport.com/H&J, text to 81089 or tweet to TSH&J. The second half is just around the corner. And don't forget, we are here with our good friends at Toolstation. Check out the wide range of garden power tools with brands such as Bosch and Ryobi. Next stop, Toolstation.
Listen, it's hard to put this in order, so don't judge me on the order.
No, I don't want any order off you.
Okay.
I just want your top 10.
Thierry Henry, Alan Shearer, Rooney, Salah, Gerrard, Patrick Vieira, Kevin De Bruyne, Aguero, Lampard, and one player to finish it off. Yes, didn't win anything at this club, but when he was at his best that season for Spurs, Gareth Bale. He was unbelievable.
Yeah. Right, now the
Go
obvious...
on, dig me out then. Go on.
Well, no, the obvious thing to do, two names that spring to mind, would hit you with them. But unlike most people, I'm going to commend you and say yes, with the vast majority of them. I mean, it's impossible to put... Do you know something? What I would say to you is this. I don't think anybody would have any arguments probably with 7 of your 10.
Yeah.
You might have one or two that your own favourites, like you say, you enjoy watching, and they're special to you. Henry, Shearer, absolutely different level.
Yes.
Different level. Absolutely different
Agreed.
level. And you've obviously, after that, you've got Rooney, Salah, Gerrard, for me as well, would come into the equation. Lampard's absolutely in the equation. The two, yes. The two that I would maybe look at and say consider themselves slightly unlucky, I don't see Harry Kane, I don't see Ryan Giggs.
Yep.
Have you've not got Roy Keane in it, have you?
No.
You know, so there's maybe 3 that would that would certainly be in some people's top
100%.
10, Gab.
Okay, just 6 or so minutes to take this sorry mess home. But tell us what's going on at half-time,
Yes,
Charlie.
Scott the Forest fan. I'm on 18. Waste of half an hour this game. Can't drive. Start earlier on a Thursday. I completely agree.
Yes.
22. Ben in Western-super-Mare. Still celebrating my Skittles team winning the league final last night. The classic Western-super-Mare.
Congratulations.
There we are. Very good stuff. My brother Simon has been banging on about getting a shout-out for the Banbury cake. Banbury cake on the birthday spread. So he's now got my 83-year-old dad listening in for the Banbury cake shout-out. He's beside himself that the Banbury cake has finally reached Mexico, thanks to Jeff, given nobody actually read the Banbury cake in Banbury. From Dave.
It's massive in Guadalajara.
It's massive now. They'll be wondering where there is. Absolutely pathetic game. Bang average gags. A waste of time. I'm 49 out. Surely time for a new game.
Yeah.
All the AFC Russian and done.
You sound as bitter as Charlie.
Yeah,
anyway, birthday number 6, Andy.
Birthday number 6, that fine actor from the 70s cop drama Starsky and Hutch, Paul Michael Glaser.
Paul Michael Glaser, yeah. Here we go.
And he's reprising his most famous role, actually, for a docudrama about the Wolves striking partnership of the late 80s and early 90s. Yes, I can't wait to see Starsky and Mutch.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Very good. Who is it?
Andy
Jeff?
Mutch. It's you. It's
Me.
You. Yeah.
I don't like Andy much.
Oh, again, yeah. Well, a lot of people say that.
Exactly.
I don't know much, but I know I love you.
Yes. What do you think?
77.
Okay. Oh, sorry, it's not Andy Mutch's birthday. I'm getting a bit confused.
It's Paul Michael Glaser.
Paul Michael Glaser. 79.
Pull the screen round.
79.
83.
83.
Oh.
83. I bet he can't go over the bonnet of that car now, can he? What's the score? What's the scores, Jeff?
Charlie's still in the lead, but it has been narrowed. He's on 20. Paul, you are on 21. One in it, 40.
What a game. What a game.
What's the word in the home? Anyway.
Birthday number 7.
It's the... Hold on, where is he?
Yeah.
Yes. The A.G. Leventis Professor of Greek Culture. I know, I'm reading out what it says.
Mild job.
A.G. Leventis, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Professor of Greek Culture from the University of Cambridge from 2008 to 2014. Paul Cartledge. Paul Cartledge.
Okay.
And he's just teamed up, actually, with Natalie Imbruglia to form a band based on her biggest hit. Yes, I'm really looking forward to seeing Torn Cartledge.
What were the Cartledge years, Andy, again?
Cartledge years were 2008 to 14.
Okay.
Cartledge years.
67. What do you reckon?
69.
79.
Oh, blimey.
Could have got more. Could have really pulled away there if I wanted to. Yeah,
You're doing all right. So where does that leave us, Jeff?
Paul 33, Charlie 30. He did write a very good article in the Typos sorry, I do struggle with those Greek names.
Yes, they do.
Because he's Greek.
He was
Greek culture.
I get it. Oh, yeah.
Birthday number 8, then.
Birthday number 8. I do feel a bit for him. He's the youngest son of the US President, Donald Trump. It's Baron Trump.
Baron Trump.
Oh, yeah, Baron Trump.
Tall lad, isn't he?
Big lad.
Oh, very tall, very tall. We used to like nothing more than to visit the President's son for evenings of musical parody. Yes, I really loved those Baron Nights.
Oh, okay.
They were good, weren't they? Baron Nights, the one for the teenagers.
Yeah, that's it.
Grumbleweeds are going to do that next week.
I will actually.
There's a dentist in Birmingham. They fix my crown.
The Rocking Berries. We'll be doing all of them.
I did do Mad and Lol. So you've got to give me one old one.
Sure.
So, what do you reckon, Harold?
Who is it again? Oh, Baron Trump.
Baron Trump.
24.
21. I'm going to go for a big swing. A big landmark.
Big swing.
20.
Oh! So I've crept back into it slightly, Andy. Where does that leave us with the scores?
We are all square. 34 all.
34.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Close
Like last
game.
week. Such a good
Amazing.
game.
Okay, on to birthday number 9. Here we go.
Okay, she was the Attorney General from 2022 to 2024. It's Baroness Victoria Prentice of Banbury. And you won't be surprised to learn she's just baked me a terrific Victoria sponge.
Yeah, I'm sure she
But
is.
I'm keeping quiet about it. I don't want anyone seeing Banbury cake.
Banbury cake. And Andy, can you please tell me her name and what she did for a living again, please?
Very quickly.
Baroness Victoria Prentice of Banbury, Attorney General, 2022 to 24.
Okay. Is it me or who is it, Jeff?
It's me.
Paul.
65.
67.
55.
Oh, wow. High achiever.
So where does this leave us?
It leaves Paul in the lead on 44 and Charlie on 46.
Oh.
2 in it, 1 to go.
So it is advantage Charlie.
Regals incoming.
I have to
Hashtag Regal.
Here we go then. Final birthday.
Okay, he's the film director and screenwriter of Amour, which came out in 2012. It's Michael Haneke. Michael Haneke. And I'll never forget the 2-day break of frolicking in the country with Mr. Moon, the former Secretary General of the UN. Who doesn't love a weekend of hanky-panky?
Blimey.
Haneke panicky.
Haneke panicky.
Haneke on the streets of London.
I'm going to go clickety-click 66.
Oh, you've gone 66. I think he's younger than that. I'm going to go Regals here, I think. Whatever I say, it's going to be the other way. So the whole thing's utterly pointless, to be honest, because whatever I say, it'll be the other way. So I don't want to say it.
What do you think?
Say it.
Say it.
66, you've said, have you?
Yeah.
63.
63.
Regals. 84.
You are kidding.
9 in a row.
I'm not playing next week.
9 in a row.
I'm not turning up.
9 in a row.
I'm not coming in next week.
I saw Rally earlier on. It was an omen.
It was.
I saw Rally McCoy.
Stick your game. It's a waste of time. People don't enjoy it. National
It's
radio.
9-0 this year.
Talk
and
about
10
football,
in a row.
for goodness sake.
10 in a row.
Let's talk about football.
Yeah, I think
Here's
we
what
should.
people want. Who's the best?
Yeah.
Like Lionel Messi or Ronaldo. Talk about that sort of thing. That's what
Okay,
people
we'll do
want.
that next week.
Who should
That's
be
what
England's
people want.
centre-back partnership?
We got to go.
That's
Well,
what people want, not this junk.
you know what?
So boring.
I've not thought of it like that.
Boring radio.
You have got a point.
Just sort of like, who's going to replace Harry Kane? Look,
Thank you, Andy.
good programme.
Thank you, Jeff.
Boring stuff.
You'll be back on.
Who cares about puns on people's names?
You'll be back on Saturday.
I will be back 9 to 11. Max Rushton.
Fantastic. Well, coming up next, to build up to a big night of playoffs, a bit of England, I'm sure, and all manner of other stuff. The excellent Annie Goldstein and Darren Bentwood Drive. Have a good evening.
French club Lens have described PSG's request to postpone their top-of-the-table Ligue 1 clash as troubling because it would mean bowing, quotes, to the demand